Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We saw surging bond yields send markets tumbling once again on Thursday. We're trying to bounce a little bit here this morning ahead of U.S. non-farm payrolls number just out. Not good. 379,000 versus 182,000 expected there. As far as the unemployment rate, 6.2%, a little bit of a downtick. Versus 6.3% expected. We'll get into that a little bit more. We saw the sell-off continue yesterday following comments from Fed Chair Powell on the rising bond yields, saying that he has been notified or is noticing that this is happening, but still didn't give any indication as to when the U.S. may raise interest rates. The 10-year above 1.55 yesterday for the first time this week, got up to 1.6% if you remember last week. The NASDAQ 2.1% to the downside yesterday, officially in bear market territory now, down 10% from its recent highs. We'll have a look at some of the EV makers this morning getting hurt once again this morning, specifically the Chinese-related companies, NIO, XPEV as well, ahead of earnings coming up on Monday. It's Friday, March 5th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American markets here. Yeah, we're getting a bit of a downtick as we get a reaction from this jobs number, but 0.4% for the NASDAQ there. So we are in positive territory for U.S. equities, but that should be changing here in a few minutes. TSX futures here in Toronto looking at 0.5% to the upside. You can see Brazil lower already. We have Bitcoin a little bit higher today, off the lows anyways. Both crude oil and gold moving as well, 2% to the upside for crude oil. To start, we've had big time strength so far in energy stocks this week. There it is, guys. It is still here, awaiting patiently. We're looking for 200,000 subscribers, and we'll get to enjoy that bottle. So help us out if you haven't done so. Make sure you take a second and hit the subscribe button, guys. Good morning. We made it to Friday, guys. It is interesting. Yeah, that was quite the down move we had there in the futures, still going. 20 handles, 25 handles immediately there on that number.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, NQ just went like 100. So I don't know, you're not popping the champagne on the move, that's for sure, but we'd like to be popping that champagne if we get to that 200. I mean, I just saw start canceling some levels here because testing 38 and breaking 38 was NIO already on that number. NIO, check that. So it's going to be, we knew this was going to be an active Friday after we got this release. It certainly looks like it's going to be the case. You already mentioned the EV makers. I know we're going to be watching them heavily because XPeng, I think the last one to report, going to be on Monday. Tesla, testing back towards that 600 level, which was an unbelievable bounce point in yesterday's action. So here we are. It's Friday. It's been a tumultuous week. I just wanted to throw a school word out there for you guys, Sean, but I think it was going to be a good day worth of trading here to happen.
Yeah, you're seeing here right now as the market just continues to want to fall down here. This is the NASDAQ. I just tweeted that out. I said, more jobs, better for the economy, but not better for inflation. And that's where the worries are with some of these growth stocks. So you're seeing Apple touched 120.53. Now we're at 120 or 119.79. You're seeing the futures drop down here a little bit. I did some buying at close yesterday. I didn't tweet that out, but I think I was telling you guys I bought some AMD and I bought some Square. You can pick them up, I guess, for lower prices now than I paid, but we're going to wait to see here. I think it could bounce. The number was 379, I guess, versus 210. So not a great number, Brendan. It's great for jobs, but it doesn't look like they like that for the economy. So we talked about raising cash a couple weeks ago. I hope you guys have done some of that. I sold some high flyers, Peloton, things like that. But we still are holding the bag on a lot of these SPACs. I think those are good opportunities right now to get in if you wanted something in on the cheap. But yeah, there's still a little ways to go on the downside here. We just come from such a huge bull market that there has to give something up, right? And it looks like it's happening now, guys.
Yeah, I'll highlight another number here that I'm just noticing as well. The revision, guys, for January also much bigger than expected. So yeah, that February number 379, I actually see 182 here. So 379 versus 182. But look at January. They revised it as well to the upside, 166,000 versus 49,000 that was reported last month. So two numbers there this morning that point to, I mean, yeah, as Sean said, it's good for the economy, but inflation, as we've been dealing with over the past couple of weeks here, the real question mark. Let's get over to the desk before we get into this too much and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brendan, and hi, guys. Have a great trading day. Enjoy the show, and please don't forget to hit thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Let's get it started with a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. Lots of opportunities. Once again, we'll show you the top 10 list here from Day Trade the World. NASDAQ alone creating 63,800 yesterday. NASDAQ in New York, 50+ thousand. We see this big mix-up almost every day of a lot of different markets here, 34,000. Europe making an appearance here, guys, 26,200, all coming out of European markets. Some more U.S. than OTC. There it is, OTC by itself, 20,000. So never a day without the OTC markets making an appearance here. Yeah, so big revision to the upside there for January as well. We had 49,000 reported last month, but 166,000, guys. So yeah, as we said, I mean, good for the economy, but what does that mean for inflation?
The 10-year popped over 1.6, which I think is what everyone's afraid of. If you're a trader, a lot of people will track, and I tend to look at, some guys on the floor will look at TLT over here, and that's going to be on the NASDAQ. You're able to sort of check. It's just iShares. It's just a 20-year treasury. And I like to look at some of these levels. We just bounced down into that flash crash, well, approaching that flash crash level we had on the 25th. It held the low at like a 137. So this is a good barometer, of course. As you guys all know, yields go up. That's bond prices going down that causes yields to go up. So if you're actually looking at any of the treasuries or any of the bonds, you're going to want to see price decreases, and that means those yields are going higher. So sitting on the lows right now, this is what we're talking about all week. You have to keep in mind our good friend Uncle Jerome didn't exactly give us any specifics, right? So, I mean, obviously there's a lot of tools that they would have to combat inflation and to calm down the curve. We mentioned twists. That didn't come out of his mouth. Tapering didn't come out of his mouth either. So I think Wall Street's kind of like, okay, well, maybe he could do those things. He didn't say that they wouldn't be taking those types of actions. And all we can do is sort of react to what we see in the leading indicator. And there's simply no denying it. When that 1.6 happened, you're going to be bearish on a lot of these I guess higher valuation names, companies that rely on debt. It's been a theme all week long. And I say preach a little bit patience. Is what I was like tweeting out. I know there's going to be. It's really easy to look at some of the prices that you saw yesterday in a lot of securities and say, hey, let's dip in. But understand that you can get a little bit, nibble 10, 15% of what you want, wait for a little bit to catch some more if that's going to be your plan of action today. But I do think we're going to have to track that treasury yield all day long, just in case there is a bit of a pullback, and that could signal a bit of a bounce.
I just see on here Chaz saying, you don't remember me talking about raised cash, but here it is here. I found it actually. It was February 23rd. Diamond hands for cash, guys. These names like NVIDIA, AMD are all coming to new levels here. So yeah, so whatever. I mean, whether or not you raise cash or not is going to be up to you. I did, but didn't raise that much. I mean, this is not something that I could foresee. But what I wanted to, I mean, we could. It was easy to foresee, but I mean, drops in certain names. Like, I picked up Square yesterday. Was it 215, 214, 217? I don't remember the price. But like, I wasn't expecting to get some of those dips. I'm hoping the NASDAQ just made a bottom that we won't see again for a bit, at 12,350. So, we just touched there, 12,370, that bottom there, happened earlier today, 12,370, 12,355. Just hoping that this can hold here. And if it does, then I think we go upside. Apple, when we were looking at it, drops down to like, 119.30. You're back up to 119.80 right now on Apple. I think a bottom pick right now, I just talked about Square. So I think that this is probably a good price. I mean, check out some of these daily charts here. Well below the 200 period, trying to bounce off this 200. So you have that as support. I said I picked up some AMD yesterday as well. I'm flipping back and forth NASDAQ and New York here, so we have to let the charts load. Yeah, back down here, the same kind of levels that we like, 74, 75. We've been talking about that for a while. Funny though, on their last earnings report there, it touches 100. I remember watching it, and I even tweeted, "Uh-oh, here comes 100," and then it stopped and dropped. Since then, we haven't seen any love from there since then. And then, where is my minute chart? Yeah, that's the thing. My minute charts, I don't think are working very well today. This was the bottom yesterday in AMD, so I said I bought some near the close, so you can get the same price right now, 77.50 or so. I think it's well worth picking some up. But again, you know, is this the bottom? Is there more to come? Who knows? You know, judge your own time frame. And I think that that's the one thing that's the most important here is, you know, understand how long. We have some friends right now panicking and stuff like that. And you know who you are. You're probably watching. And the point is that, you know, if your play is for a certain shorter term period, yeah, this is a panic right now, right? I mean, if you bought in the last week or two, options, holding out for something to happen, calls specifically, then we may be in trouble. But I mean, look, the number came out. This is what we were all waiting for. We waited for Powell yesterday. He came. He delivered the goods. The market got swooshed down, and now the market gets swooshed down right here again. And it looks like, honestly, I don't know, Brendan. I'm pretty encouraged that the market is at least bouncing here a little bit. It's been a bad couple days and weeks here for the NASDAQ. So I'm encouraged by a little bit upside. The ES still positive 0.25. And I think we get there for NASDAQ. So let's see if that 13,350 might have been the bottom.
Yeah, I was actually just reading, guys, the December number as well actually revised further to the downside. So if you remember, it was 126,000. They revised it further into the negative side to 300,000+. Officially, as of the close yesterday, 10+% for the NASDAQ off of its recent highs. Meanwhile, if we can have a look at this chart real quick, guys, look at XOM. Daily chart is just, you know, straight to the upside. We're up another 2% here. You know, we have to kind of shift our focus. Obviously, we've been paying so much attention to some of these growth stocks, but look at XOM today, guys. More strength here, trying to take out the highs, in fact, here at $60.
Not bad. XOM up 2%. I'll show you Occidental, which traditionally is the weaker of the two, but can sometimes in the rebound get a bit of a bigger move, and that's up that 4% right now. It made that 30 push yesterday. We're watching that one live on the show. And look, we're starting to get back to, and obviously things were crazy, and you can't always really compare what was going on in oil to some of the other dips in March, because if you guys were following, it was all kinds of craziness in oil futures. So there's some volatility that was almost out of hand and things that we had never seen before. All that said, Occidental is starting to get towards like this 30 to 35 area, where I do feel as long as we're not screaming to some fresh highs, I think it could be interesting for a bit of a retracement. I would have liked 30 if it could have consolidated there. We never really had any of that. You do have to keep in mind at this point, like OPEC is meeting like every single month. So they're constantly thinking about making adjustments. They already say that an increase could be accepted by the market, but you know, there hasn't been a major one just yet. And I think, you know, that could be coming. Are we gonna hold at these highs around that $65 barrel range? It's tough to say, but I'm sort of anticipating at some point you might get a little bit of a pullback in this energy space. But it's been such a high flyer. I don't know where you're adding to a name like this, but definitely got to be on the day trading radar. And the reality is, Sean, we were trading at one point doing the show on YouTube. We were trading XOM and Oxy on almost a daily basis, and I think we've gotten away from looking at the energy plays because, heck, you know, you look at your NIOs, you look at your Teslas, you look at your Palantirs, and those have been so good. Time to flip at least some of the focus back to the energy name. So Oxy's back on my board. I'll be watching it daily.
Hey, what is happening right now? We fire it off. The cannon goes boom. Give me that. Where is that? Give me that sausage. Okay, the guys like that. So look at that. Boom, we called that. We didn't call it, but we said let's hope that that's the bottom there. Looks like that may have been for now. Hopefully the bad news baked in. Let's just see what happens. Just got confirmation. We're going to have a guest trader today. Marcelina, sister wife, here, coming through the show today. It's going to be a good one there. Still has a pin from last time. We remember Marcelina coming on. That's going to be 11 o'clock. She trades all the time, tweets at us. Her and my wife have a thing going back and forth there. So we'll see, you know, what's going to happen with that. Welcome to the show, Marcelina, at 11 a.m. confirmed. So that should be a good one. Another trader of the day. Look, you know, we'll see what happens today. I mean, I'm on XOM right now. and not in it right now, but I'm on it. So we're going to wait to see if it does take out that 60, which it just does do here now, making brand new 52-week highs. Neil just went over some of this, but I like XOM. You can use some of the bottoms here, even where we closed yesterday. Oil right now up another 2.4%, up to $65. I mean, here's oil right here, just to give you a quickie here on that. Upside again, up that 2.4%, a nice little bump up from yesterday. So crude rocking, XOM rocking. Check in quickly on the imbalance locator. NIO, big one there. Snowflake, what happened to you, Snowflake? Yesterday, Snowflake was rocking and rolling. I don't know if you guys saw this. Look, bang, right up to 278. That's $50 straight up, right? That's 20% from top to bottom. And then it said, that's nice, and retraced it all the way back down to yesterday's close, which is here. And then right now, we just bounced again off that 236. So I think there's obviously some opportunities here in Snowflake, especially if the market goes, yes, I'm excited. The market looks like we may have an update, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, you called it, John. The ES trying right now. Our percentages don't seem to be working, but the ES trying right now, as you said, to get to back to positive territory. The other end of this story that we've been talking about as well are these banks. And here we go again. Here's JP Morgan, 2% in the pre-market here, 153 up to 153.5 already. Goldman Sachs all-time highs 2 days ago. Also, guys, back to the upside.
And that's the theme. Like, you have to think about what has actually been strong in these markets. And you cover energy, you covered some of the rebound plays, the reopen plays. It's just a heck of a lot safer to be looking at some of these, banks. Now, if you want to talk specifically about JP Morgan, obviously it's had a meteoric rise. I don't know. That's a garbage word for JP. But we are running into what has been previous resistance at a 155, and this is a 15-minute chart just so you guys can see. We did have a sort of double fail break, and I always look at these pre-market breakouts and take it with a grain of salt until it actually gets tested for real, which is exactly what happened a couple of sessions ago. It tested for real and right to 155 and then turning around. So if we're going to have a bit of a rebound here, you start thinking about the names that have been beaten down, showing some strength, and some of the flyers like JP could, on a day like today, if we can catch an update bounce, I might actually think JP could struggle to get through that 155, and then it could be a bit of a fade play off that level. Now, eventually, it's going to be a breakout through there, so I wouldn't sleep on it too much. But today, I'd like to, if we're going to hold these, gains, I think there's going to be some interesting names that are going to catch some good bounces. I mean, NEO just went back through 38 to 38.50. Just looking at Tesla bouncing a little bit here. There's going to be some interesting plays if we do catch that green day today, but it's a long ways from over.
Okay, good. JP Morgan's one that I may start to sell now because if the rotation's going to be back into some, I don't think the rotation's back. This may be a good day to start selling some of your positions, but if you are going to get back into growth at some point, not that I don't think Palantir is necessarily, that, but I just want to call up to see what it was doing because you guys know my love for that stock. Another thing I want to talk about here quickly. What else is moving? People always ask me about Bitcoin, and you guys have to understand something. Bitcoin, come on, it moves with the NASDAQ, right? People can say whatever they want, but as the market falls down, Bitcoin was also falling down, and the market starts ripping, and Bitcoin just ripped up $1,000 there too. So you are getting a nice little move off of Bitcoin here, up to 48 and change, just straight upside since that release. Basically, the bottom was 40. This is the release. Here it is right here. 47.4. You're up $1,000 there in Bitcoin in just a couple minutes. So there you go, man. When the world is all right, Bitcoin tends to go as well. So just watch out for that. I think there could be some plays today. Mara, Riot, SOS, SI. There's a bunch of different names. And the one that, of course, I like, and I think Brendan likes the most too, BTCC.B there in Toronto. A good little ETF. Brendan, maybe we'll eventually get our money back out of that thing.
Slowly but surely, yes. No, they're all on the list today, guys. We'll talk about crypto names coming up. Upgrades and downgrades first. Yes, we have a few recognizable ones on here, Sean. Microsoft, Morgan Stanley with an upgrade on Microsoft today. 290 on the price target. Boeing's up here as well on the upgrade side. That side of the story, Nikola, Costco with earnings downside. For Costco, we'll talk about that also on the list. Fuel Cell and that mattress company from yesterday, Purple, guys.
Everything's purple.
Everything, yeah.
Purple Rain.
Absolute classic. Prince. Prince is pretty cool. Either way, I want to look at fuel cell here, and you'll see these like downgrades. We talk about this, like sometimes a downgrade will precede, or these downgrades will precede big moves, and other times there'll be a little bit of a lag. And FCell has been coming off rather heavily. I would have liked it much better if we're sitting down at like $11. I mean, this would be sort of an easy decision from the day trading standpoint to say, okay, this could be an interesting place to take a bit of a long trade. Apologies here because a couple of symbols on our system don't have a yesterday's close price, so you'll see like a 0%. It doesn't mean it's actually not moved. You can kind of clearly see from here that it is actually basically flat. Actually just got back to flat on fuel cell, but it should be an interesting one if it can bust back through like a 1420 level. Like I said, it's a multi-day push to the downside. It's a bit of a tight range here that it's been making in the pre-market, and just because something shows up on the downgrade list, just take a longer look at the higher time frame so you can see what's been going on with the name. If it had been basing out, consolidating, and then maybe looking to make another leg down, you could think about that downward pressure. But if we can catch any kind of a rebound in some of these, I guess, previous high flyer names, something like a fuel cell is an interesting one for me through that 1420 level. Only problem, it only does 400,000 shares volume in the pre-market, which is all kinds of garbaggio, guys. So that's, for me, probably not going to be the easiest thing to get into. I do want to remind absolutely everybody of one thing. And this is going to be coming up on Monday. Do not forget, as a way to give back to all of our members, guys, we're going to be doing a live Q&A. Arun, who's going to be on in just a few minutes to go over the futures. And this is a huge day to be talking about some levels on the ES and the NASDAQ as well, guys. So make sure you tune in for that. But all of us are going to be there for our Q&A. All members are there. We want you guys to join up, but we also want you guys to get your questions in early. We're probably going to get far too many. That's kind of what always happens. And then we try to get to as many as possible. And you can ask us just about anything. People try to always ask, like, what's your favorite movie and that. We try to keep it to the markets, but we have some fun as well, guys. So this is going to be an interesting one because I know today is going to be fireworks, and there should be a lot to discuss coming up on Monday.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, this should be a good one today. And yeah, we're already doing this right here. Yes. Okay. Yeah, just looking at some emails there coming through. Okay. I just want to talk about Rocket quickly here before we do go to Arun. Yesterday, this had a fun day again. And it looks like we're going to open up right where we did yesterday for Rocket. Yesterday, we opened up at right about here, man, like 27.50, wherever. It's going to be about the same price. And then right away, almost instantly, and we had this move up to 30 and change. We like the 30 break. It gets as high as 31 and then stops on a dime before retracing back down that complete $5 down to 25 and change. And then even though through the bloodbath yesterday, this is what I was sort of talking about throughout the afternoon yesterday, was that it was holding this 26 level. And maybe that's the price. Maybe that's, we've re-upped it from 21. That's, pre-earnings, 20, 21, 19.50 maybe. You could have got on a daily chart before, that earnings. And then we saw the Reddit, nonsense basically that happened on Monday night carrying into Tuesday. And that was only 3 days ago, although it seems like it was a month ago. So right now, I think Rocket still has a chance to go. Short interest is still there. There's still a lot of interesting things happening with Rocket. But I mean, whether or not we get back into the 40s or not, I mean, that was a squeeze play. Obviously nothing to do with fundamentals. But look at this. It's the same level again. I still think that you got to wait for it to break 30. We do have some areas of resistance up here, including 28.50, which is right here. You see a couple bouncing spots right there. We are above VWAP, obviously not intended to be accurate, with a big print on close there, but we'll wait to see what it wants to do. It looks like it stopped at 28 again off some of those numbers. So we'll, 28 looks like a good little breaking spot. I think we break that before the market opens, though. Still 35 minutes to go here, so check quickly on the imbalance locator just to make sure we're not missing any names. NEO back down to that 38.50 that we pumped yesterday. That was a great trade. And then other than that, there's really nothing on here. We will be trading XOM, I think, today for myself anyways. Pfizer's been on a decent run in the last little while. If those of you that own Pfizer, will know that. A big move down, man. I mean, it got crushed. I even talked about it. Like, sell all of the companies besides J&J working on the vaccine. It's not a profitable venture. But then there it is, 33, like a little bit of a bottom there, 33, 33.50. And then this is what I'm talking about, a couple up days there. This day, I guess, was flat. A big day a couple days ago, then a flat day, and then we'll see today if it can get out of its way. But I like a 35 break on Pfizer if that comes. So that's a little undercover stock right there, maybe.
If you own Pfizer for the vaccine, I think you're playing that sector entirely wrong, in my opinion. like BioNTech, sure. Moderna, sure, and that, like those types of names. But you know, for a bigger name like Pfizer, that's not going to move the needle. This is more stable dividend play. You know, for myself, I've had Pfizer for a long time. I actually did add some, one of the few things recently. So, and it's just that 33 level was actually pretty good in the past. And yeah, maybe it's woken the sleeping giant. It tends not to move too much. You got to pick your poison or pick your days specifically when you're going to get into this name, because it's not always the biggest momentum play in the world. And yeah, when it ever gives you like 15-20% moves, not a horrible place to trim. But either way, Pfizer, I don't know. It's only done 100,000 pre-market. I don't know if we'll get that move here today. I think that could almost be like a next week type of swing.
All right, guys, some house cleaning. Before we continue, I want to show you this real quick, and then we'll talk about what is moving around in the pre-market as far as individual names. If you have not yet registered for that website, make sure you get over and do that. We understand that people have still been getting the email in addition to having access to this website. That will end today. So the email last day is today. So make sure you take a second and register for that if you have not already done so. Let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. It's going to be an interesting session, to say the least. We'll start things off in EV land. Tesla, first off. I mean, there's no real significant news here. We got to 600 yesterday. We're back around that 600 level again today, although it is looking to get higher, it would appear at the moment. There was an article yesterday released by Reuters suggesting that a significant investment is going to have to be made in the overall U.S. power grid before 2030, and then 2050 was the next kind of timeline benchmark as far as, you know, the amount of EVs and the amount of power consumptions that are going to happen over those, you know, kind of benchmarks and timelines. So by 2030 to 2050, they're saying between $1,500 and $5,800 of an investment is going to have to be made into the U.S. power grid in order to support this market, guys.
Oh my God! So sorry about that. Just NIO just popped into almost like 39 there. Just saw that little move to the upside. I mean, Tesla didn't really do much of anything. Now, it's good to note that you already talked about some slowing growth in the overall sector because of that chip issue, and now the U.S. government's thinking about making an injection of $30 billion to help out those supply issues. So, you know, further infrastructure is needed. Some of the growth targets for EVs it's huge. So obviously you're going to have some investment in infrastructure. That doesn't move the bull case, the bear case much, in my opinion. These are going to move. If they're going to be moved to the downside, it's going to have more to do with what's going overall with yield and inflation for some of these particular names. We happen to be at 620, which for me, it's a bit of a sour note because on yesterday's action, you know, I can show you here. This was a level that I was looking back to on the 23rd as we had that dip in Tesla. And I've definitely learned a little bit of a lesson, or had one reiterated to me by the market. I was looking for that same bottom. It was like 617 and change was the level I liked. I did not allow it to break through that bottom. And sometimes, sorry, it was about 618 and change. I didn't allow it to break through the bottom. I put my stop at the actual low, previous low. It ticks just barely below it, just barely by like just less than $1, to be honest with you. And then you get a screaming move all the way back to 650. So, you know, when you're doing that type of a bottom pick off a previous like dip level, and I'm talking like flash crash dip level, you have to be willing to take it through that price, I think, a lot of times. So either trade amount of shares you can hold through, or don't have a hard stop at an obvious price like that. And then you could have reaped the benefits there. It also gave you the big 600 play. That's going to be the one to watch. I think 625 should be good for an interesting break there. I was going to look at a NIO 39 break, but it looks to me like it just took it out and retraced there. So might be looking for a dip buy, which I didn't think was going to be the case here in NIO, because that just ran $1 and then came halfway back.
Yeah, I was on NIO here as well as Tesla. I will talk about NIO because we are going to get to that in a minute, because we do have it on our watch list, as Brendan just mentioned that as well. Okay, so Neil just went over some Tesla levels. I mean, I only really wrote down 608 and 600. So 608, we've already broken through that. I mean, that was a great number. You can see that's what's happening right here to the upside. I have to address this super chat. So go Canucks, go. Okay, the Maple Leafs are 17-5, but we did lose yesterday to the Canucks. We cannot win them all. You guys know, obviously, Austin Matthews is a little bit hurt right now, but we will see you in the playoffs if you make it, Sheldon, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, this is the best run right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Number one, I think, unless Tampa Bay, something happened last night. We'll have to check the points, but yeah, the number one team in the NHL. It just sucks because normally I would have been to a few games by now, to at least be able to watch this team. And of course, the minute the Maple Leafs are good, everyone's on lockdown. So we'll see what happens. But I guarantee you that if they win this cup, there will be no lockdown. That will not be stopping anybody from going outside. Coronavirus, beware if the Maple Leafs ever win the Stanley Cup. But hopefully by that time, I don't know, I guess I got to extrapolate when the cup would be, but I don't know. Hopefully by that time, we'll have a few people vaccinated in this country, although we're getting there, but slowly, Brendo.
Yeah, indeed. I think... How Toronto of us would it be if that were to happen during a pandemic? Let's talk about the market, guys. We'll bring in Arun here and have a look at the futures and get his take on this jobs number and the action that followed. We're trying to get back to the upside overall for both the ES and the NASDAQ. Do we have Arun there, guys? Okay, yeah, we can do it this way. There he is. Good morning, Arun. What are your thoughts so far this morning?
We're in that situation where sometimes a good number is good and sometimes a good number is bad, depending on what the Fed wants to do and the projection that you're going to make based on the number, right? So initially a good number, but we saw that big drop and now here we are back again. We are into a sell zone though, so that's making me hesitate on the long side a little bit. I've got a feeler out here, so I am on the short side slightly, very small position, just to feel out this range here, because going back to yesterday, this was a big support zone. So for me, I would expect some selling to come through here. But again, the buying is really strong, so not just yet. I wouldn't step in with size just yet, but I am going to put a feeler out there just to see what happens all the way up till 39.10 or so. If we can get above there, I think we have some, we have a chance to really get going to the upside, at least back to the highs from yesterday. But if we turn around here, then we've got, a decent amount of space here. We can at least get down to 37.50 or so, 37.50, 37.40 or so. So the bottom end zone bottom end level I've got is 37.20. Top end level I've got is 38.10. So we are in the sell zone at the moment and we are running strong. So possible shorts, but not just yet. Just be careful because the trend is pretty strong at the moment. The buying is pretty strong. So I would just wait to see how long they can keep going with this, or if they can keep going and break the 10s, and I think we got a really good chance to take out that intraday high from yesterday.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again on Monday. Arun's going to join us for our Q&A coming up on Monday. Members Q&A, guys. If you haven't done so, make sure you sign up for that after the show on Monday. Yeah, let's get back to Chinese EV makers. Yes, Arun also has a BlackBerry. Chinese EV makers, again, we're a little bit weak in the pre-market, but seeing a bit of a bounce here. Worth noting, guys, XPeng coming up on Monday with earnings.
So I'm already in NEO right now, and I was just telling these guys on the chat here that, yeah, all these stocks that have been beat up right now are going to run today because of what's happening right here with the NASDAQ. We finally get the numbers that we wanted to, and we'll just see what the market wants to do. I mean, initially, absolutely crushed. And if you joined us at 8:30, I talked about, let's see if this is the bottom here. We made that earlier. Let's see if that held, and bang, did it hold? Yeah, it held. It held easily. It held. So now we'll wait to see what happens on the upside. I only got in here. You guys know. I mean, it's a half hour before the market opens. This is not a big position as Bitcoin continues to rip off to the upside as well. So we'll wait to see what happens here. But we just take a 39 break. I actually just punched into it as I saw it ripping up. It did go into the money about 20 cents, but I'm waiting for at least 39.50, like yesterday's close. We can get to that. And then we'll wait to see if we can defend more downside 38. But yeah, the ripping and the rocking is ready to rock and roll here. AMD upside, bang, already in the money on that purchase. We can check out on Palantir as well. Some of these stocks have been beat down for a little while, so we'll see if this can get going today. But since we're on NEO and we're on electric space, let's just see what we can do here if we can't fry up a little quick breakfast for everybody. 39.20, so this is already 20 cents in the money, not taking it. We're going to wait for that. Some levels to watch out for. These are the levels right here. I actually have an order to get out right here. 39.75. We'll get out of half of our position if we can for a quick 75-cent winner. So we'll wait for that. And then, honestly, why can't we just retest up here, $42, $43. So let's just wait to see. I would prefer NEO than XPEV, which is XPeng and Li Auto. I just say stick with the guns. I've been trading NEO. I've been absolutely disgustingly destroying it lately, including yesterday when my biggest trade was right here. We let it, first of all, we took the break yesterday at $41. I was talking to Trader Pratt about this after market, and then we actually got out upside before dropping it when it came all the way back down. Didn't absorb any losses through all of this, thank God. Was too busy looking at other things. And then all of a sudden, we see this little bottom here looking for some winners, and we hit it, and then it's just ripped upside. You guys saw that was a $1.50 winner yesterday, and could have been more if we would have held on to it. So I'm going to try to do the same thing right now. We go long through 39, and I have a target right here, man, 39.70. Let's see if we can take 70 cents on the first half, and then let's watch out for some explosions to the north side here coming up really soon, man. Let's just hope, fingers crossed, that we can hold on to some of these gains today and continue higher for all of you guys that are in the options game like I am as well. Let's just see what we can get going here on a Friday.
We'll continue along here, guys. We'll talk about Palantir next. No real significant news as far as Palantir is concerned, but very actively traded in the pre-market once again. We did get a number of analysts making moves on the stock throughout the last couple of sessions. The latest Jefferies going to buy with what was the price target? $33. No, $40. My mistake. $40 from $30 on Palantir, Sean.
Going to 40, but when is the question. And that's the thing that everyone wants to know. We'll see 40 before you see 20 is what I think. So I think that's well worth that there. But look, again, we can make whatever comments we want. I mean, honestly, as the market goes, today is put up or shut up day for me anyways for Palantir. Let's just see if it does have the juice. I can't keep blaming the market for its downward move here, although that is what's happening. But let's just see. It does make a big move up. It's $1 up from those job numbers right now. So that's nice. $1 up on a $23 name. That makes sense to me. So let's see if it keeps on going. I didn't actually even write down any spaces today for where we like Palantir. You can see here on a 20 minute. Nah, that's not good because it's too low. We do have some levels here, 25.50. We've been talking about 25.50 for like 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So we come into the 5th day here. It needs to get above this 25.50 level. When it does that, then I think we can get back to at least here 26.50, 26, 27 in change. But this is why we're looking. It's basically held. I mean, look, you are going to get those, you know, and it's not capitulation, but you're going to get these breaks down, which we've got a couple times at 23. Easier for me to say 23 is held because it has. But I mean, even in here's held pretty good, which has been 24, like 23.80, 23.90. We've been loving these bids, hitting them up to the upside here. So let's just see what Palantir can give us today. I think a 25.50 break gives it what we need. You know, the 25 break, you know, I'm not going to take that right now. Even I'm just looking at the time, 9:10. It's still too early for me to take any breaks on Palantir because we've seen what it can do. It's flushes. You know, if the market does give some back, then I want to wait for that opportunity to buy Palantir at 24. So let's see if it goes. I will take a 25.50 break as long as that happens after 9:30. I'm in on that. And then if not, let's see a flush back down to 24 even. But we're ripping and rocking right now on Palantir. So a nice little move to the upside here as we go. So I like Palantir. I'm a buyer downside. If we do get a flush like this, I'll buy at 24 and change. But, you know, I'm waiting for that 25.50 magical number that we've been looking at for quite a while.
Yeah, and it to be 4th time's the charm. Sometimes it's 3rd time's the charm. I think 4th time through trying to break that number. It has the juice behind it with the market move up today. We had just talked about that downgrade fuel cell and went over certainly some of these beat up names. You saw on the daily chart that it came down. It actually did take out that top. I didn't anticipate this, but when Neil started going and Tesla started going, a lot of these beaten up names started to go. I did have the order out, so we got long when it broke 25. I did scalp some, and I will take some out in front of that 1450. It's actually up to 600,000 shares, so it almost doubled its volume in that recent push to the upside. But yeah, you're having a lot of these beaten up names, like we said, start to go back to the upside. So if you have some prices that you like, or some names that you might like, I'm staring you in the face, Pinterest, because it's been a while since I've gotten back to this one. If you always wait for the absolute perfect dip, and on Pinterest daily chart, that's about this 62, 63 area. Yeah, so what? You didn't get it here. And if we're making the turn, watch out for a 70 break on pins.
I want to give quickly, Brendan, just a big shout out here. Lauren May, thank you so much. Traders, Nether Texas. Marcelina also in Texas. She's coming on today as well. Hubby and I watch you every morning with our caffeine. Well, then I got to say this to you. Cheers to you. Trader TV Live. Grab a mug, on our website if you want to. They're pretty good, actually. And yeah, I've had the same one for a while here. It's been holding up good. So thank you, Lauren, for that. And thank you to a new member, Bob Fisher. Oh, we do have our members chat coming on Monday. So what a members chat is, of course. Do we have it on coming up here? We probably do. It's number 3. Okay, there it is, coming up, number 3. Monday, I think this is worth it, man. This is what we're trying to do to give back. It's $5 a month to help us support the show. We put the show on for free, and what it's going to get you is basically 1-on-4, I guess, with us here on Monday, where we'll be able to take your questions. It does get busy, but we talk about longer term trades. People ask us about our hotkeys. People ask us about different things, what we think about the market or some of our strategies, even talk about plays we made that day. We are doing a trade review every day now, but that's been very popular. This is one of our more popular things that we get a lot of great hits from that. So thank you so much, and that's coming up on Monday. But look at this, guys. Yes, sir, we are at a carnival, and today it's your money that's on the line. So make sure you hit that, because the NASDAQ rips and roars today here. Greg mentioned that maybe there wasn't going to be much on that number. It was big time. Bang to the downside, and then a rip city back to the upside. So it actually reversed course completely. We talked about this on Friday. I said this was going to be a monster day for the markets. If it can't hold these highs and the NASDAQ is down like another 2% today, then yeah, guys, get that money, because it may be flying out of your accounts for a long time if we can't hold highs. So that's going to be my warning shot here today. Not just for me. I mean, I'm in all these stocks too. So I'm going to be very, very interested to see if the NASDAQ keeps a green day today. If it doesn't, I think that's just a horrible sign. Yeah, pretty much double on the jobs today. If you missed it, the number itself, pretty much double what was expected. I have to show you this, guys, because it is much, much needed in this country. CBC reporting J&J single-shot vaccine going to be announced from Health Canada today for us. So that is definitely good news, much needed in this country as well as in the U.S. and wherever you happen to be this morning, I'm sure. Let's talk about the cruise operators. We've been discussing this reopen type of idea throughout the past couple of days and weeks, getting more and more positivity. We had NCLH come out this morning with an offering, guys. So that one was negative, but the rest pretty positive.
Yeah, well, I'll start with NCLH just because they are down 7%, and it can be a little bit deceiving, but we've seen this in the past. Let's zoom in on the daily chart just so you can see here. If it does get back, going to go over some levels. We have about 18 minutes to the open here. And this has been a space which has been fantastic for pullbacks and then little dip buys, if you want to give that a lack of a better term. 29 was the previous top. You do see the last time it broke through, it sort of hovered for a couple of days with whipsaw action off that 29 level, and now we're testing right back towards it. And most of these, I want to say most of these RCLs was the latest, most recent, I should say, when it comes to an offering, and certainly that was received well. They headed back to the upside. So if NCLH can hold it, I think that's going to be a good sign. However, you can't ignore the fact, and we said this with the banks as well, right? So, if we're going to get this bounce in some of the beaten up tech names, the high flying multiple, unicorn, whatever you want to call them names, EV, all of that good stuff, if that's where the bounce is going to be, it would not shock me to see a bit of a lag when it came to a couple of these re-entry plays. So, I mean, if you're looking at CCL, maybe that 25 level, well, probably doesn't get to 25. Maybe that 26 level could be good on a pullback. I'll certainly be watching NCLH for that 29. That would look pretty good. I don't know if I'd be immediately defending that 30 level here, 20, 30, well, 30, 40 cents away from where it is right now. I'd probably lean towards some of these, your like FCell, which I'm in right now, NEO, which we'll be watching as well, Tesla. I think that's the place to be for me today, but wouldn't ignore NCLH if it gets anywhere close to that 29 area at least.
Yeah, I was just, I'm actually a little bit surprised here, because I thought with this number happening today and what's been happening to these growth stocks, you see AMD through 79 already. Like, that was a good pickup yesterday, 77. We talked about that before the market even exploded there today. So we'll wait to see what that wants to do on some good pickups. We'll find out where Square is as well, as we picked up some of that yesterday in the wreckage. So, but yeah, Carnival Cruise. And what I led with was I thought that this may be going the opposite way, as names coming out of some of these high flyer reopen stocks and into Microsoft's, Facebook's, and some of those names that have been getting exploded to the downside recently. So yeah, I'm going to hold with that theory, man. I think that may happen. So let's just wait to see on some downward moves here for CCL today. I'm not expecting a revisit near 28 would be nice to short. I think that's a good little area here. And then you can give it back to that 28.50 level if you did like that. So I'm going to go with that rhetoric and think that is right. So I'm going to be looking for shorts here today in the cruise lines, including this little break maybe at 27. I know it's where VWAP is for right now, but also some consolidation and some support levels here at 27. So if that cracks, we'll see what's happening. A quick check in our imbalance locator as we only have 15 minutes to go. NEO, a nice little million share to sell. And these are market on open orders, guys. So this is going to hit the market at the open, a little sell order here for NEO. And then Snowflake, we saw that get killed yesterday. And I just talked about that 234 bottom. If you see this on Snowflake, I hope you guys were listening. I didn't trade it in the pre-market. Because again, if I take a position in Snowflake in the pre-market with like $1 spread, then I have to focus on it, right? And the show, obviously, we must go on, so I'm not going to do that for you. But look at this, man, 235, 236. Glad we talked about that as a bottom because right there, that's $13 straight upside on that play. And oh yeah, Brando, Square making moves to the upside as well. I'm going to find out where we bought it, but that's a nice little move. Not that it can't crash right back down. I think someone also said there in the chat that probably a lot of people going to be dumping their stocks today in wait of a further move down. Hey, look, if you think that, I think this is an awesome opportunity to do that as stocks are just going off right now. So if you do believe in that, as an opportunity, what I would do is sell about 5 minutes into the market. You should get a little bit of a bump here as people getting exuberant with these moves, as I am. So I think you'll get a little bit of a bump early on these names. And then if you do believe that story that the market made, a false bottom there, then yeah, take some pair some off. Get into some cash. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to miss, a 5% move up for what you're thinking is maybe a 10% move down. So I would be very, very careful with that theory. But if you do think that that's something, hey, take some profit off the table. Pigs get slaughtered. We keep talking about that. Pay yourself first, guys.
Yeah, I would say it depends a little bit on the name. I mean, certainly maybe in the airlines and the carnivals of the world here. But like you said, you can never go broke taking profit. And I'm going to use an example here of Virgin Galactic because I'll show you the daily chart because we were talking all about this 125 and 27.50 for that breakout. And then when I said to take profit was not even anywhere close to the top, but it is what it is. It's almost a double up when it rejected at 50. I know it goes to $60, but Chamath just unloaded his personal share. He's still indirectly invested in the company, of course, but Chamath unloads his personal share all the way down. I think he got like 34 as an average price. Either way, somewhere down here, you get all the way back into this breakout range. And ultimately, if you don't take profit, don't raise that cash, as Sean said, you don't get some of these opportunities. And if you like a name like this, then you could be picking it back up and made yourself a little bit of coin here. I'm going to already hit something here. We'll go with this super action. Because it's not often that, we go over the upgrades and the downgrades on a daily basis, and a lot of times we'll focus on stocks that are on the watch list, but every now and then something will make sense in a thesis. You pile on a downgrade on something like Fuel Cell, it gets a top-end break, and a lot of this is the fact that it lagged some of the moves that we saw. Like I saw NEO start to go, Tesla actually broke that 25, and then I'm watching Fuel Cell get through that 14.25 area that I liked off of yesterday afternoon. It's already into this little top here at 15. I'm going to take profit pre-market before 15 level, scalp that 50 cents for the last third, give it to break even, but already a nice little trade here. And of course, it's the longs that are working out in these beaten up names like we said all morning.
All right, we're going to get down to Virgin Galactic here in a second. Yeah, Chamath with a little bit of a headline there for space, but let's talk about crypto stocks first. Bitcoin trying to bounce here. We did get all the way down to almost 46,000 early on this morning, but making its way back towards top end of the range once again through that 48.5 kind of area. SI, there's Riot, there's Mara, all trying to bounce with it at this point, guys.
Yeah, I'm glad I sort of talked about Mara a little bit, and Kevin, I think it was you there on the chat that mentioned that these stocks were already up since I mentioned them there with the NASDAQ moving upside. It's an easy connection, man, the NASDAQ to Bitcoin. We keep talking about that. That's why I watch the NASDAQ here. That's why I'm a holder, whatever. We could talk about crypto for days with me anyways. Okay, so 3120, 3160 there. Mara breaks through the high. You do have some levels upside here. Look, it's just going to follow Bitcoin, so why not just talk about that? This breaks up to 4850 there. Look, so that was the bottom, 47.3 and change, 48.520. So 50,000 coming here for Bitcoin, especially if the NASDAQ keeps going. So you got to be into some of these names at least. And, Mara, a nice little level here, $34. We bounced off there a couple times yesterday before getting murked all the way to the downside there. Remember, there's a couple ways to take it off right here. If the market does turn around, you can look directly at Bitcoin. If you're trading Mara and you're saying, you know what, I think this market's a little bit heated, this is a good spot to get short because you get short right here, 33, 33.50, somewhere like that. You do have 34, 34.20, something like that as your top. So if you did think the market was getting heated a little bit right now and you weren't sure you wanted to trade an equity name, I sort of look at Mara and Riot as just more Bitcoin exposure. So if you did like it, look, we all have the same. That's still Mara. Come on, Riot. We still have those same tops from yesterday, all of them about at the same time, 11, 12 o'clock before Bitcoin turned around again. So that's 47.50 up here for Riot. So that's another level to look at. And I just like to think that with more volume coming through these names, you do have a big edge X order there, that, you got to look here and you got to look at these two, Riot and Mara. And then the big one for me, BTCC.B. I've been buying shares in this lately, although it doesn't really make much sense. I'm so exposed already to Bitcoin and to Ethereum and to Cardano that, buying more in BTCCB doesn't really make too much sense. But here's the top again, 950 yesterday. Then we make that move back down to 906. This is the true ETF for Bitcoin. So if you did want to have some crypto names and some exposure, I would just get it through the ETF. NEO right now taking out those levels, 39.50. Let's see, we're still long 39. I have an order upside here in the 60s, so it needs to break before I get out of half.
Yeah, no, just staying on that theme here, a couple of sessions ago, we'll be half right when we were talking about selling some like Silvergate or something along those lines into some potential weakness and putting it into like a square. It was a couple of days early to put it in a square. I think long term that's the right play. I'm sort of with you. For some of these, and I'll sort of signal out like Silvergate just because of how far it's run. You just have to start thinking about, where's the better place to hold? Do you actually want to hold Bitcoin itself like in that ETF, as Sean mentioned, or do you need to be in a high flyer? And if we do have a bit of a turnaround, if this stock gets to like a 135 area today, like that could be interesting for a pullback, especially if we haven't actually cracked 50,000 in spot. So I'll be watching that level on Silvergate. And again, this is what we were talking about the other day. In the midst of that pullback, it's been an unbelievable rise since we started talking about this one in November. It's just way too overheated and much more. It's actually more stable to be in Bitcoin itself than in something like this.
All right, guys, let's talk about space. In an SEC filing this week, Chairman Chamath Palihapitiya selling mostly his entire stake in the company, 6.2 million shares, following a 3.8 million share sale back in December. He still holds about 6.2% of the company overall. Does this matter?
Yeah, I think it does matter a little bit. Chamath, he'll still sell his own personal holding, but hold your money in it, in that other Osborne or whatever that other fund is. So look, he got a good price, I guess, 34, 35. He could have got that yesterday anyways, or a couple days ago. Yesterday, space fell down another 4.5% today. If the market rebounds, I like this name for something. I just did take off a little bit of NEO there at 40 because I did see the futures turning. So we got some out at 44 for a 40-cent win. You'll see that on the board there. But this is Space's chart for a longer-term play. It's been destroyed. It's obviously down below this. You're talking about his stock. This is literally cut in half in 2 weeks, from 60 down to 30 right now. The only real base is going to be down here at 24. So look, if you like it, you can buy it here. Why not start to nibble a little bit? I don't like it, but if you do, then you can grab some space here. That looks like a good name there. We know that there's going to be some more ETFs coming through, so there is more tailwinds for names like this. But again, I'm not super in love with Virgin Galactic at these levels. I think it can. I think you can get this name in the teens. Valeria, what's going on?
Guys, market opens just in 7 minutes, and I know you will be busy trading, so let's get as many likes as possible right now. Officially like time, guys. Please share some love with us and click the like button right now. Back to Sean.
Okay, I don't know, Neil, you like to trade some of this Virgin Galactic, so for me, it's going to be a no-go today. I may even go short through this 28 area, and then if I do, I'll see what it does through 27.50.
So I actually just got Pinterest as well, guys. So I had to quickly shift over there. Actually, didn't get the full lot, but it just broke that 70 even. Interestingly enough, the market pulling back a little bit. So do I want the rest? I'll still probably take it. When it comes to Virgin Galactic, I said early on at the beginning of the show, preach patience. The pullback that we were talking about that got you like that 25 to 27 entry, 27.50 specifically entry point, and then got you the double up was off of a hard consolidation, right? So a lot of times that's a good way to get in, because anytime you're talking about a zero revenue business, your time horizons are pretty long, and if your time horizon is pretty long and you're not making a swing trade. If you're making a swing trade, that's fine, because that's what we were talking about earlier. But if you're actually looking to invest in the company, allow for some consolidation. Your time is usually going to be on your side. And in this market environment, where I do still suspect we'll probably have at some point a deeper pullback in some of these ridiculous valuation names, you can be patient. Now, would I be starting in the 20s? Yeah. But then I also believe in starting with like 10 to 15% of what you think your overall position will be, which makes it more than reasonable to start something in the 25 to 28 range. And then you're waiting back for these really good support levels at like 16, 17. So you can certainly do it. I have a couple of more interesting names that I like for the day trade specifically. I'll stay away from space to the long. Fuel cell, I already have. Pinterest, I have to the long side as well. But some other names to get to. One, I don't know if it made it to the watch list there, Brendan.
Yeah, a little one, guys. Waiter Holdings, if you remember, right back to the beginning of the pandemic. This was a big mover because of their food delivery service. They're getting into the weed game, announcing Aftermarket yesterday that they've teamed up with another company to start a platform for cannabis delivery in the U.S. So Waiter Holdings up on that, but you can see breaking downside. This is 375, this little consolidation from Aftermarket yesterday, which corresponds with the bottom end of the daily chart range, $4 and then $4.20 to the top side for Waiter Holdings, guys.
GE up again to 1382. General Electric, like how is this leading my swing account right now? I would have never thought that General Electric I'd have a 40% win on this name. Yeah, wow, it got as high as 14. I didn't even notice that yesterday in the pre-market there, or just as we opened up, 14.12. Wow, so GE, man, that could run again. Let's check in on our other slow but steady. Yeah, slow is right. Ford right here at 12. We're long like I think 1150 break or 1180, something like that, on Ford. After getting out of our $7 longs around 9, we did get back in. So Ford looking to make some moves here as well. And I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to find a stock that I like off the pre-market, and I think, like an initial trade here. AMD, what a great battle back that was. We did have some clumped up areas yesterday on that dip before ripping back up and then getting crushed back to the downside. So that was right here, 78.71. So again, I wonder if, based on this move up here, what we're going to see, can the NASDAQ come back into this area? That's sort of what I think is about to happen. So we took out 40 cents on NEO, and we're still in the money 26 cents on that. I'm kind of going to wait to see if the NASDAQ comes back here. So no instant like blow off the top trades here for me, unless we get NEO. There we go. Come on, chart. Let's go. Unless we get NEO breaking something like this level, 39.80, then we'll probably take that a little bit. But we do know NEO could drop back down. I am waiting in this area, 38.80, just in case we do get that drop. But yeah, NEO might be the only one that I take if we break out. But then you did say that Microsoft also caught an upgrade. Okay, nice to see that back to 230. Microsoft catching a little bit of an upgrade today. We did top off yesterday at 232, so we're going to watch out for that 230 break. Yeah, whatever. And then check out on Facebook, which has been the more aggressive name lately. 262. Yeah, I mean, there's so much upside to go here on all these names. I'm going to be patient here, guys. See if we can't sit on our hands a little bit to watch this open.
And just a little bit further down on our watch list. Now, remember, you got to subscribe last day to be getting those emails. You want to make sure you're on that website. Much better way to get it, in my opinion. T2 Biosystems here, they missed on revenue. It wasn't a fantastic report. They lost like 7 cents a share. But they're getting a rebound here. And well, when I say a rebound, you're up like 15 pennies from the bottom in the pre-market. And I look at yesterday's close at $1.95, just under that $2 range, as something I want to fade into on some of this weakness. So you do see the gap down. A lot of times you'll have this pump on earnings, then they digest the report, and you get the actual gap to the downside. So I'll be looking to fade this off of the $2 level, 195 specifically the close as well. So that little range would be a target out range. If it goes any higher, I'll definitely look to short into it off of the open. I don't don't have a position in it just yet. I'm going to hold off on it. I want to go to SLGG. This was another mover from yesterday. A big gap and run sort of play here, guys. You're going to see this. Hold this like $6 level and make 2 pushes to the upside. It got almost to $10. Now is gapping down 20%, so it's short sell restricted. Has to hold 670, and if this level breaks, I'll be looking to play the weakness through 670 on SLGG, sort of a day 2. Well, not really, almost like a day 3 type of play for SLGG.
So here goes NEO, guys. A big trade here. We're going to take out the top if that does happen. Rocket companies, I'm going to go long through 28. That'll probably hit early. And then I'm just going to hold it. I mean, I'm not going to be taking a huge amount of shares at 28. I much better like it at 30, which sounds crazy, but I want to see the momentum going through on Rocket. We know what it can do, and it can fall $5 like it did yesterday. So we'll take it. And then if I do take a 28 in, man, I mean, I'll probably just give it that $1 back down to 27 to make sure that we're wrong, a full $1 on that one. And then because we do know that we could pick it back up, hopefully if it breaks 27, then we could probably pick it back up at 26.50. So not really worth the risk reward there. We'll take that $1 hit, and then we'll see what happens. Because if I don't take the $1 hit, then my next out basically has to be 26. So the $1 is going to turn into 2. So not really worth it. I do think we have a $2 worth of win coming if it can get through 28. We'll see if we can't hold, at least get some out 29, and then maybe get some out on the 30 top side there. The market coming back in, like I said, maybe a good opportunity in the first 5 minutes to sell.
Yeah, we're about to ring that bell right now. That thing is always slow. 2-1. This market's open, Randy.
And there's Randy.
Wow.
That's the good Randy.
Randy does not
okay,
play.
A big short here right away off the top. We did take this Carnival Cruise Lines. That's what I wanted to get to. I actually didn't even realize the market was that close to being open. Thank you, Mr. Randy Bucking at Trader TV. Randy ringing the bell there. CCL with a nice little move to the downside. 27.10 short. Let's see where we go.
Yeah, and already we're getting some movement. And I want to go to this one, EYES. I know a lot of people were watching this in the pre-market. It is making some moves to the upside, big gapper. Brennan dropped a news story. 240 is the level I'm watching. As it pops into this range, it failed there before. That's the first level I'll fade. I know pre-market high is 260, but looking to get into some eyes here right now.
Okay, yeah, eyes, good one. Okay, so here we come to the downside. Come on. So what I'm thinking here is there's a switch between growth and reopen stocks, but the market's coming down, which tells me that this could be wrong, because if the market's coming down, that means some of these NASDAQ growth names are coming down. But there it is. Bang! A nice little win there on CCL, man. We're taking some more out as we go. It's already a profitable Friday for us here. So we go 2 for 2 with a bit, not a big NEO win, but a NEO win and a big CCL win. Let's go.
Yeah, and FSL is going to work for me. I'll tell you Pinterest. I'll give it a tight stop because that market wants to come back in. I just told you, eyes, I was trying to get it. These are all my offers. As we did chase it a little bit, but there's only so far I will chase a trade like that. I tried to jump in and say it as fast as I could to get it to you guys. But look, this stock looking like it wants to get down to that $2 level. If it bounces again, I'll still play that 240. I like that for a bit of a short. We mentioned Snowflake pulling back in here, that 250. If it defends that 234, I'm going to like that price as well. But Fuel Cell just came all the way back to 14 even, so I am out of that trade. It was a winning trade overall, and SLGG, remember, if it breaks 670, I'm going short.
Okay, and a big monster win, guys, already, so we'll hit it for you right there on CCL, man. Look at that. We just got out some 75s. It actually cracked down to 60. And then a new trade alert. Yeah, we did it, guys. This is what we're doing. Let's see if the market wants to go. We'll take out a little bit more here. 87, 88's good out again. We did get that dip by there into the 80s like we talked about. It ripped up into 04s there of 39. Now we're coming back to the downside. 38.60 is going to be my out here on NEO if it does want to go down to that far. But here we go again, guys. 50-cent winner. Bang! A 50-cent winner right now for us on CCL as it continues to go down, and a 40-cent win on NEO. Give it to us, Brendo.
Another one that is moving back to the downside. This one's come off a long way as well, guys. Smile Direct Club reported aftermarket yesterday, down 4+% here, trying to bounce off 10 on volume for SDC.
Oh, man.
And here comes SLGG to the upside, but a stacked bid, or offer I should say, at 725. You're going to see it rejected 750 a couple of times here in the pre-market. So if I like 50 as a stop, I'm going to like that 25 as a bit of a level. Just got into waiter in front of 350, so I do have that to the short side. I'm fading some of these small cap names. Day 2 here play for SLGG. But of course, as I say it, there goes down to 7 even. I only want 20s to 25s. I'm not going to chase it too far. Otherwise, I'm doing the 670 breakdown, which is that low of day, guys. Waiter is in the money a couple of cents, but I think that one we can give it like 5 or 10 before we take any profit there.
Oh shit, we called this one, guys, and if you don't like it, that's too bad, because I called Carnival. I said there'd be a switch here, there'd be a rotation out of Carnival into some of these other names. Your boy does that again, so there we go. Hide your eyes right now, because we're getting out on the downside right now of a big trade, man. 60 cents in the money for Carnival Cruise Lines. Okay, so, all right, Sean, so you're negative on the market, right? Nepa. Look at NEO, guys, ripping to the high side. Hell yeah, 70-cent win right now for us on NEO to the upside. We're already huge today, guys. What a day this has been. And guess what? It's 9:33. We're going to tweet that out. Follow me on Twitter, guys. If you like this action, you're going to like more things that I have coming on that site. So let's go back over to Twitter. Follow us all. 39. Here we go. NEO, we're to the Rip City, man. We're long at 38.86. Lego.
And fuel cell on the dip here. Here is that opening range, Bob, right at 9 o'clock. When it broke out, you saw NEO push. Got to 1380. Now we got that dip in front of that 1380, so I'm back into fuel cell. I like it for the bullish play. Plug was another one. I'll get to that one in just a second, but we got to go to Brendo at the desk.
Open door, guys. We talked about it end of the show yesterday. Moving back to the upside here, huge print at the open there, down to 23, but trying to get back towards highs here. Open door reporting aftermarket earnings were actually okay for this one, guys.
What's up, V? Thank you for the coffee. We did take a little, whoa, hello, hey, hello. We did take a little more shares there on the upside of NEO. That was that break spot. But like you guys know, we're not trying to play breaks, man, on these. So that was just a tester up there. We did get a nice long there and emptied them out. But now we're holding. You're just going to see me in a bad price. But we are holding some shares on the upside of 39.90 there. Look what's happened, man. We talked about the first 5 minutes were going to be key. There's the sell-off we talked about. So let's see if NEO can hold that bottom, the market can hold this bottom of 12,500. And it's funny because this is that level that I identified. If the NASDAQ can't hold this, we could be in trouble right here. So there it is, the pull right back down. And I said it, man, even before the market opened. If you were nervous about some of your holdings, this was a good opportunity to get out, even in that pre-market, as the market's coming screaming back down here, guys.
Yeah, and we talked about, I just got into that waiter off that 350 break. Of course, got 46s and 47s. This is the low of the day, 336. I'll take profit in front of that. Then I'll take profit in front of that quarter. I'm also working into SLGG, but so far so good for these two small caps that we'll take into the gates of hell. I want to keep tracking back to Snowflake because as the market does pull back in, it is sort of screaming down towards that and it's 235 as a pre-market low, guys. There was a 34 level if you go to the higher time frame, but if we get down there on Snow, you saw the run that it made off the bottom yesterday. So I'm not saying it's going to do it here today, but worth a look off that defense. I'll take a shot at Snowflake if it goes another $5. Brendo?
Early strength, Cisco, guys, up 3% here on volume. 45 was support in the pre-market. We're up to 46. JP Morgan upgrading Cisco today.
Ooh, Cisco, yeah, another. Okay, so first of all, here comes NEO, guys, right back down to these buy areas because look, it doesn't look like we're going to hold. So if it does, though, this may be a good opportunity to take a little bit more long here on NIO. We're going to give it back down. Where's my stop order? Yeah, breaking through 38.50. So it doesn't go there yet, but you know this is a big move downside. So if you are still in NEO, watch out for this market because it's moving the wrong way for us NEO traders right now. It has to take off, which I still think it has that potential to. It's trying to hold that 12,500. So we're just going to wait to see if that does come through. If not, then yeah, adios amigos on that one. And then CCL still near the lows. We'll take off another piece here that's bouncing around 50.
You know, I was looking at 600 on Tesla and noticing the pre-market low here is actually 605. There was a bit of a scalp opportunity in front of it just now, but as the market starts to peel off, ES back below 38, and I'm tracking the NASDAQ, which is the bigger one, and it's back to that 12.5. So here comes a Tesla bottom at 605. Now, I'm not looking at this 605 break. 600 was a monster reversal in the afternoon off of this level, guys. So 600 is the key here for me on Tesla. This market's going to continue to head down. I'll look for that level on Tesla.
Yeah, NEO just flushed exactly through that level, guys.
Yeah.
We get 50s there. Thank God we didn't get 35s or anything, so we're flushed out of that one. But I still like NEO to the long side. We'll make this money back, but 12, I mean, it's fine. You know, in, out, that was the problem. We did take, I said yesterday I wasn't going to take any more breaks, and there I go taking one. It's crazy. Okay, we'll wait to see here, but NEO needs to build that base like it did yesterday. This is this morning, but we did have a base yesterday at about this 38.50 level. So let's just wait to see, man. The market right now at that crack level that we talked about, 12,500. So it looks like I mean, we weren't wrong there. It did crack it and then went right down. So let's wait to see here. NEO that bottom. I may take another long here just to see if 38.35 holds, guys.
Yeah, and got out of Summit VWAP on SLGG. I'm back in here, just picks them up in the 20s. Now, it's trying to test this 25-30 area. 750 is the line in the sand for me on this stock. I'm not reversing to the long on this one in particular, although it might not be the worst idea on momentum the way that it's screaming right now. So if I add to it, it's going to be in the 40s, and then an out at 750. You have to give that as an obvious price. Well, that was actually a slow order. Try to get some 44s there, and if you heard me hit the key, that was like a half second to get that acceptance. There we go, just got the fill. If 750 breaks, which it's about to, wow, can't even get, did I get out? There we go. That was crazy. Brendan, let's go.
Buzz, guys, the ETF from yesterday, more selling pressure coming back in here. Just had a couple of volume alerts go off on Buzz after, not a really good debut for this one yesterday.
Okay, so 38 and change. Yeah, no, not. I mean, look what names they're in, right? I mean, they're in the horrible spaces right there. So we tried to get on Neo, failed it. So now we're gonna have to wait to see where we're coming on the downside. Now we did protect that $38 yesterday nicely. It only dipped down to $37.60, but this market has a hell of a long way to go down still. We could retrace all the way back. Like we said, I said this was going to be a doomsday for the NASDAQ, especially if we turn red. So guess what, man? It didn't hold. This is why I said in the first 5 minutes you were able to get out. If you did, you were able to get out right around here, and then now the drop's happening. So look, I'm still bullish, so I can't say that I've made too much money here on the short side, although we do still have a nice little winner. I wish I had them all on CCL, but we are right down to yesterday's low here off this amazing call. I mean, this was $1 now in the money, the complete opposite of a call here on Neo.
Oh my goodness.
I cannot believe I didn't cancel that order. This wasn't a huge amount of shares, but I just can't believe I left that in there. Normally I want to take breakouts, but yeah, not in this market, not right now. Let's see if Neo, we'll try Neo one more time here, see if it holds that 37.80, but wow, it's just, maybe we don't even do that, man. It's just marching to the downside.
So Tesla just broke 600, slammed down. You couldn't get, you're not getting, unless you cross like $1 or so, you're not going to get that short on the break. But it only goes to like 96 and slams back up. Look, if this is going to be, I don't know, the market's trying to turn here. If this can be a failed break, this could be an opportunity to pick up a little bit of Tesla in front of that new low of the day. Otherwise, if 95 goes, I would definitely be looking for that as a bit of a short. As I say that, it's entirely possible you've missed that opportunity. But if it comes back down and gives you any shot at 600, worth it to that 95, where I would definitely be thinking for the short. I got to go over to Snowflake because it's getting very, very close, but not quite to that 235 level that we would have liked. It just ticked to like 236.50. Waiter, on the other hand, we got back into, added shares into, so 3 for 51. You saw me get wicked out live. I'm gonna throw this one. Poo-poo SLGG, because you saw me get wicked out at the very top of that. It basically broke and slammed back down. I got out when it broke that 750 automatically with a bit of a late fill, and then it slams all the way back in. So a failed break on that stock. That's why I didn't want to reverse into the long, only cover the short.
Okay, so we're out right there on CCL at 20s there. So we're still holding a small piece. We loaded back. Oops, there we go. We loaded back into Neo just to see, man. I thought the market had a chance there to rebound through that 12.5. So let's just give it that shot to do that. And then you can see down here, 37.79 could be the out there. So if that does break, man, then we'll get out. Just making sure that I do have those stop orders set up for that. Okay, CCL, we already talked about that. And then the other trade we want to look at right now is Rocket. That's what it was. I was thinking, like, what name am I thinking about? Rocket, yeah. So Rocket does fill fade off. Sorry, that 28. That's where the fill we were looking for. And now we're right back into this area. This could be worth a long here in Rocket, but again, you got to be very, very careful. I did hitch my wagon one more time to Neo here on this long using yesterday's bottom. Yesterday's complete bottom is this 37.60. I'm just going to use right here, man, to see what happens. 37.78, 79. But it looks like, this just wants to keep going down. So it looks like we'll be wrong again on Neo unless this market somehow wants to go.
Sean, before we go to Brendan,
sure,
quick look at TLT, which is that 20-year Treasury, which actually is holding up rather nicely. Still back at that positive area, or almost at positive on the session. So as much as we're dropping off, if we hold these levels here above like a 138, I actually think that we could have a bit of a bounce. I'm tracking that, but then we have to get back above that 12.5, and Tesla's about to hit that 595 for the breakdown. So eyes are over there for me. Brendan?
One of the LiDAR companies nearing big time levels here, VLDR, Velodyne. Heads up here, guys. 13 and then 12 all-time lows. The founder of this company stepped down today, so not good for VLDR, guys.
Not good at all. when your founder steps down. And not good at all also as NEO just takes the bottom. So we'll step away. I mean, obviously we got hurt on NEO today. Longs all the way through, and then the this big decline. Again, you know, we just thought maybe the NASDAQ could hold it, but there it goes, turning negative. I'm not going to wait now and man until like we get back to at least up here. I can't just keep trying to find bottoms on NEO, but that doesn't mean I won't try one more time. What was that bottom there? Oh, that bottom was exactly this again. So yeah, we got out. It looks like at a bad spot there on NEO, but that's okay. We still do have some shares here for a potential upside move. We didn't get out of them all. We're going to wait to see if it does break through 37.60 on the downside. That would be epic if that does happen. A check-in. We already checked in on Rocket. You know what I was thinking actually? That this could be a good bit of bottom on Rocket. We've already made this down here, 25.50. Could be worth a shot to hold right now. Go long Rocket and see if it holds this 25.50 level. So that could be a little, you know, some sort of a theory there that we could use with on Rocket right here, 25.50 as a hold. So I think I'm going to go long here and use that 25.50 number as a holding spot for Rocket and just see if we get that spot, guys.
I know we're going to go to Miss V in a very, very quick second there, but I want to go back over to this Tesla. It actually just bounced again, so I was looking at that 595. It just ticked, and it got to like 97 or so, and then ticked off it, and then bounced back up. So I still like it for that little breakdown, but Tesla showing at least some signs of strength. Miss V?
Hey Neil, chat is talking about GME. GameStop is up more than 4%. Back to you guys.
Honestly, Neo.
Yeah, and look, literally in that little 2 seconds, I actually just paid for shorts because we didn't have them for free on GameStop, believe it or not. So we can pay for shorts here at Day Trade the World. It's made a couple of days worth of runs, and let's keep in mind something. GameStop is holding above $100 in this recent like bounce that it had off of 40, which is actually, when you think about it, pretty impressive in a lot of ways. We are going to test back any second now to like this 142 level, which is a bit of a, look, it's a bit of a level, certainly. If you look at yesterday's action, you go all the way back into the 26th, which was the biggest pushback that it's had since it sort of dipped down and consolidated. So I got to watch out for 142 here. There could be a bit of a reversal. You know, my inclination on these pops is usually to be shorting it into some of that strength. 42 isn't like a 45, but that's going to be one for me. And a reversal into like a scalp long, where you just go long 142 when it breaks, and then try to get it out for a couple of bucks works as well for me on GameStop. And certainly it's going to be active. It looks like it's on the move once again, which means it's good for the day trade.
Yeah, GameStop, a great opportunity there. And we already got into Rocket. So we'll wait on Rocket now. We're long 19s, I think. Yeah, 19s.
Sorry, what?
And then we will wait to see, guys, what's going to happen to the upside now on Rocket. If it can go, it can go. But sorry, I want to show you this level here. 25.50-ish. The very bottom was at 25.38. We'll just see. I'll average into this trade, but right now it's 10 cents in the money, but whatever. NEO trade as well into the money after we basically got, I mean, whatever wicks you want to talk about, this is probably, it's not even a wick, but that's the low of the day there. It looks like it may come again here on NEO as the market just turning right around, man. Here comes NEO smacking back down to the downside. It's so thankful that we hit this trade, man. This is now $1.10 in the money, but we did empty a lot of it out here on these bottoms. But look at CCL, man. At least I was right with one thing today on CCL. What's up, Brendo?
We were talking about XOM. I'll show you another one here, guys. Oxy. Wow, what a move here. 7.5% at one point there. Just broke 32 on more volume. Energy stocks strong again, guys.
Oh man, I said we'd look at XOM and we did it.
It's honestly, I'm getting a little sick of it too, because like I know we make these, like, and it's not necessarily a mistake because you trade what's gonna make you that coin. I was looking at some of those, you know, like your fuel cells, that was good. Pinterest was not. So missing out on Oxy, it was more of a backfill bottom pick than anything else. But if it's gonna be one of these uptrend days, just note the fact that this breaks VWAP on every single pullback. It's been a similar story on the way up the last few sessions. You have seen some decent morning retracements. Yesterday came all the way back into pre-market lows before making its next move. So I would not be shocked to see us at least come back to like a 31.50 and then give you another chance to get back in. Tesla, wowzers. Yeah, Tesla back up at like 608. So might have missed a turn on that particular name, which much to my chagrin. I do still have that waiter. I like this one all the way to that pre-market high. So we took it short at like 350. We were able to get some out in front of that pre-market low, and then working back in off the pre-market high, which is 367, which is kind of an odd number, but that is the level I'm working off of.
Okay, so we got to get some out here on NEO as it does bounce back to the upside there. We still have some of these shares. I mean, I wish I still had them all because then we would be infinitely better, obviously, than we are right now. Rocket, we're not going to get any out here. I still think we could take out this 60 level, and then when we do that, we'll see about a higher move. We did open up at 28, remember, before fading all the way back down to 26, where we got long. So that's going to be a work, piece of work to come through. So we need to wait for that one to hit before we do anything with that. Okay, so I'm waiting on Rocket. We do have a bottom of 25.50. I'm willing to average into there, so just so I can play that trade out for you. And again, we're different than every other show, man. We're trying to educate, give you guys some plays and not hold things forever, and try to make some reasonable plays here for you. Today, the only one that I've messed up on, obviously, was NEO, which was a big one, but we did have a big trade. Okay, there it is. So NEO just comes right back to the downside. We did pick some more up there. Look, this is crazy. Like 1 minute ago, I got out for 38.50, and then a minute later, I got filled for 37.90 on the downside. So that's like a 70-cent swing there in just a matter of seconds. So let's see, man. I mean, this is very, very slippery with the NASDAQ. So I definitely have a great trade here, but this isn't dependent on these futures, guys. NEO, man, that's violent.
Yeah, and looking back at Virgin Galactic, I'm actually surprised it's not as violent as I would have expected. This is actually held at 27.50, which was the top end of that consolidation range from before. Look, if the market heads southbound, there's no way around it. 27.50 breakdown. I'm going short on Virgin through 27.50 if it gets there. So I don't know that it's a short. It might actually be short sell restricted because remember that rule applies to the previous day and then the current. The next day as well. So might not be able to hit that bid, but we'll look for liquidity if we can get it. I think we have a decent chance because it's done 6 million shares, so 27.50. I'll be short. This is a day trade, of course, on Virgin Galactic.
Okay, so NEO right now, look, this is what I'm talking about. Look how crazy we are. Like, that's 38.30. We took some more out off of that. Like, that's a 40-cent move. So we'll take some out, right? I mean, we're just trying to build back on what we've lost here for NEO. Okay, here it comes, man. It's getting right. Wow, this stock is just. XPEV may not have great numbers, guys. I mean, this is just getting hit right now today to the upside. Does not go NEO as the market there it goes crashing down. So we'll get a hit out of this one pretty soon as it's going to break back down below 37.50. I don't know why I keep going back to this name. It just violently not working. Thank God we're able to take some. This won't be the end of the world trade right now because we're able to take some profits, thank God. But NEO right now going to the downside. I'm just going to cancel some of those offers that I had, as obviously that's not going to fill on the upside. So let's just wait to see. It does test downside. Hopefully this market can get going, and we just saw the bottom on NEO. But wow, $37 could be coming sooner rather than later, guys.
Yeah, and I still have that waiter, by the way, the WTRH. I just got some out at 48. I'll start taking, look, my best fill was up here at 59. I started this at 53. I missed chances to get like 56s and 57s on the way back in. But all the way to the low of the day, you're going to see me have some bids out on this particular name. And then, of course, I mean, Tesla, you've got to be kidding. That's the second break trade that I've missed on Tesla. So, look, what that obviously tells me is the spread is opening up a little more than I'm accustomed to, so my stop order is not actually finding liquidity unless I cross a little bit deeter. It does give you that $5 scalp all the way to like $5.90. Certainly, if it does make a retest of like 605, 606, it might be worth a retracement short as well there. But waiter's the only thing I got to that south side. Brendo, what do you got?
GSX, guys, one that can get going if it wants to. A little online Chinese education company. I remember this thing went from 45 and change up to 145 and change going back a month or two ago. GSX down after earnings today, guys, but trying to get higher.
Trying to get high, yeah, aren't we all? Okay, so right now, Palantir, guys, we're starting right now, 23.85, 23.80 right here. We did see some bottoms, 23.65. I have to give this one to 23 if we're gonna keep watching these things. But again, the NASDAQ failing right now. We're just still holding our CCL, thank God for that one. Still nicely in the money on the downside, holding a decent spot. So 25.77, but we've been destroyed on NIO today, man. It just kept on failing. Like every single time it tried to go, it failed. So we were able to get some out there, making this not as bad. But wow, it just keeps on getting destroyed here. NIO to the downside. So no love for that. And then Palantir right now, baby positions, guys. Let's build a decent one if we can ever see a bottom on this. Worth starting one here, I thought. And then maybe we'll get some more here. But I'm not willing to go ham yet until we sort of see something. And look, let me show you what was NEO yesterday, what I'm talking about as the market just keeps on failing here. NEO yesterday was this bottom. We found it. you know, and we're waiting to see something like that again. So if it can build a bottom, which it may be doing right now at 37.68, might be a good punch through, but I still think we're still real early on this game, man. Like this could be a bottom 38.40, but wow, the NASDAQ needs to go if we're gonna make any real money here.
Yeah, I just got that short on when Space, Virgin Galactic broke that 50 level, like went in the money like 5 or 6 pennies, out of the money 5 or 6 pennies. It's sort of compartmentalizing itself to that low of day. But TTOO, and I like the level of 195 to 2 even. You have to have a target, obviously, but sometimes you just should get in, get a little teaser position on the way up. I did not do that. It's already made the push down. And so you're going to like 10, 15% to the downside already. It's kind of hard to chase that, so I'm not going to go ahead and do it. Virgin Galactic just pushed down. Look, I start taking it out when it gives me over a 10-cent win. I'm working this probably half the position I'll have out if it goes to 27 even. And then from there, we already gave some support levels on the higher time frame. I'm not saying the stock gets to 25, but we did say be a little bit patient, in particular with Virgin Galactic. Because sometimes you can get better prices if you're looking for the long term. The momentum, I don't think, is done to the downside on a lot of these names. I didn't actually think this would happen so soon, but here we are. There's that 50 break. Just got some shares out there at 27.16, so I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, even though it's exactly what you're going to see happen on the screen. Thankfully, this and the wait or short are working, because I'll tell you, no dice for me. And when it came to slugs and the Pinterest long didn't work. Also, it's a good thing we got out of that F cell. When we did, because you take those pre-market break trades, and you get a retracement like this, it's like, you got to be kidding me, right? So the last third, we're going to get out for a small loss down here at 20s when we're long at 26. We tried to defend 1390. It immediately takes out that other level here at 1380. Don't hold. Just get in and out when you can, guys. And here comes 27 even on Virgin Galactic. It is breaking. Wow. It's the floodgates are opening up on some of these to the downside, guys. Virgin just got some out at 27 even, almost a 50 penny winner there.
What's up, Brendo?
Recent earnings name, guys. Fubo TV, also another one breaking downside. I mean, just be short something at this point. It's pretty weak. $30 rejected there at that last bounce, guys. 8% for Fubo.
Okay, yeah, so $1.70, $1.80 in the money on CCL, but more problems than money right now because Palantir just keeps going down. You know, we did talk about that. I was talking about getting out if you like some of that Square at 221. I don't even want to show you where Square is right now. It's down to $200. So you can watch out for that one. But maybe Palantir's found a bottom. I don't know. What we're going to do here, though, is you see this 23 level? I mean, that's staring me right in the face. So we'll see if we can get out of that one, 23 and change. We'll look to get out if it does break back down below 23. Look, I'll have no choice, man. I got to stay somewhat disciplined here. I can't just go to the grave with all of these longs today. That's not going to happen. We talk about risking a certain amount of your capital on certain ideas. And, you know, I'm still nowhere near. I mean, I'm down what I made yesterday right now. So.
Sean, I want to hunt for relative strength if I can, because just a quickie, not to interrupt there, but as we head towards those lows, I want to show you guys Microsoft here. Yeah, look at these pre-market levels on a 228 when it broke upside, holding some consolidation 227. For something like this to be up on the session when we're sort of heading back to the downside, you look for some of these tech names that might be worth a pickup. If the market bounces, and I'm looking at 12.3 on the NASDAQ. If you're tracking the ES, we'll call like 37.5, maybe 37.55. If we bounce off of that level, Microsoft looks good for a bit of a pickup. But I want a reversal first because you're able to get some good prices. Either way, if you can catch this, I mean, Microsoft still has a 230 break to go. And whoa, wowzers! We'll go bear action on Virgin Galactic, which I didn't think was going to be the case today. But when that bottom broke, there's no way I'm not going to have it. Just got 26. 75 was the last level. I got some out at 78 there, so continuing the run to the downside and working on that short break is Virgin Galactic. I missed the Tesla one twice because I couldn't catch an execution. Here I got 49s on a 50 break, which is about as good as you'll ever get. Thank you, Day Trade the World, and my NASDAQ scan key.
Here we go. Yeah, see? So sometimes we hate on it and sometimes it works. Okay, so I'm hating on Rocket right now as well because this is getting very, very close, man, to breaking this bottom. We don't have a bunch of shares on this, but we did average in. You know, we're not going to trade one of the most dangerous names here and not watch out for the bottom. So 25.50 right here on Rocket. Man, this is falling again. I still like the lotto tickets on this in case we do go ham again, but it doesn't look like it wants to do that, man. I mean, this market is just getting murked again today, even though we're down only 0.56. I mean, we talked about this jobs number, and look where we're right back to it, man. We're right back to where that bottom was. I said if we don't hold this area, we are in trouble. It looked like it tried and then just boomed to the downside there. So all of my longs should have just been shorts, but that's easy to say when the market looks like this. So yeah, Palantir's coming right now down to that kill area, man. We took one more shot. 23 is coming, and coming mucho fast right now. So this will be another loss. We've only been trying longs, guys, and yeah, not working out today. We will have to change up our game and find something short. The only thing we have short is CCL, and I'm just letting that ride, but nowhere near the exposure on that that we have on Palantir right now. So watch out here, man. Palantir falling faster than a knife through butter. I mean, there's obviously better ones than that, but this is just go, go, go. If the market rebounds, though, this is the name I like. What's my average price? 59. So we're only out of the money here, 30 pennies. Not the end of the world, but with our exposure, it's not nice. So let's see if we get back into the 50s here on Palantir, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to say hold it. If you got something running for you right now, you definitely want to hang on to some of those profits. But I just got out of some of that WTR. I'm trying to hold this position through the break of the low of the day. I took a bunch out, and I was like, can it get to $3, which is yesterday's close? I saw that $3.25. I did take some more out here. These are good returns on a $3.59 short if you can catch. And it's not, look, it's not going to be that 10%, but I'd never expected Waiter to be that big of a move. You guys will see that I do have 3 long positions. I just want to let you guys know all 3 of those are leveraged buyouts that tend to have more stable ranges. I'm short in momentum plays right now. Those are all longs that are probably not going to give you massive returns. But even on days like this, you will have even those types of stocks moving, which provides a bit of an opportunity. That's why you will see me long in those names. I do have Michael's right now, which I should probably get out of because it's looking like it's going to bounce. SLGG, you will not find a worse execution than this. Right here. So this was me getting out, and then, well, sorry, this is me taking my last entry to the short side. This is also me getting my last entry in front of that sort of 750 area, and then getting out when 750 broke. When I said I got a late fill, 750 break, and I got filled at 45, which means it had come and gone all the way back down when I'm getting out, which is as horrible a trade as you could possibly make. You're going to watch this one break the low. I actually tried to take the bottom break. It immediately wicked me out, and then it continues to go to the downside. So pie in my face when it comes to SLGG. I mean, that should have been an unbelievable winning trade for me to the short side, but even I got shook out like, I don't know, call it Michael Jordan against Allen Iverson. Let's go to happening now for Brennan.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. It is a Friday. That means let's have a look at North American markets here. I mean, it is positive for the Dow and the S&P at this point. You can see the Dow 0.3, the S&P there 0.1% to the upside. All of the weakness coming from the NASDAQ here, 0.5% and 0.4 the composite and the 100. So overall, it feels like there is some strength in the underlying market, but tech stocks very weak once again. The Russell 0.5% to the upside. Here in Toronto, TSX basically flat if you're watching long down in Brazil. Bovespa also in positive territory. Palantir, guys, a couple of things to keep in mind from the watch list. In fact, we tested the close from yesterday and just straight southbound. 25 above us here, big level as well. 23 looks to be support at this point, trying anyways to bounce off 23. And yeah, Tesla. Guys, we're talking about it. 630 down to 585 now. Watch out for 580. A bit of a level on the daily chart as well, guys. Back over to you.
All right, so we were able to get something out on that rip upside there on Palantir. So we able to get our better, a little bit of a better average price there. We'd get some out at 40s. Our average price was 55, I think, right? So, you know, again, a 13, 14 cent hit. We'll see if we can get loaded back up on the upside, or on the downside now. But look at the NASDAQ. Fail City one more time. So, yeah, does not get going. Rocket rebounds a little bit, but not that much. It goes back up to 89. Where are we long at 06? So that was a small loss there. We didn't get out, but we could have got out for a small loss. We're still going to try to hold this in case the NASDAQ does participate here in a move back to the upside. We'll wait to see on that one. So Palantir right now, long at 52. It's only at 32. We tried to get longer at 20 and just missed it, man. Only went to 25. So we'll see, man. Here we go to the upside again. We're waiting for that. Rocket, that might break. Sorry, that's Palantir, sorry. Rocket may break this 55 still. It's holding here at 69.70. It had some problems getting through this 80 level. So let's see if it can take off through 25.80 here. That's going to be the rocket look, guys.
Yeah, and I want to come back to it because, look, obviously GameStop was moving, and I talked about that 142 level. It got to 141, slammed back here. So, you know, it is what it is. You're going to miss out on trades from time to time if you don't have, I guess, an inclination to get in early, which I didn't want to do, but it is bouncing back now. So if we can hold this consolidation, at some point 142 could take out the top, and I would probably take that breakout trade still, despite the fact that it's come so far. I can tell you Virgin Galactic made a hard turn. I thought it might travel a little bit further, but here we go. I'm not going to hold it past break even. I want to make sure that we get out. And there we go. Hands off keys. It broke that 27.5. So actually just touched it by a couple of pennies. It's a successful short trade. I'll take that every single day on a downward break. If you're not able to get the consolidation, sometimes you just go with the momentum. The market is rebounding. I don't want to get caught short on a bottom break if we are actually making a significant bounce overall in the market. So hence I'm holding that waiter trade. You're going to see this one working still pretty nicely. It's trying to bounce back up towards previous pre-market lows. If it can't even break these at like 335 to 340, you know this is very likely headed to that $3 range where I do have my next target to that downside.
Okay, and yeah, winners, chicken dinners. Finally, guys, we'll hit it. The cash cow, that's Palantir. I mean, I don't know why I just don't stick with Palantir. I tweeted out yesterday some of those levels that we hit on Palantir, and then here we go again to the upside. So that's, I mean, obviously it's my number one stock today. Well, CCL is my number one stock, but any of the longs that are finally working here, looks like Palantir is going to be that. I told you we baby tested these longs, and then when it came down to 23 and change, that's when we loaded up, and I had no problem telling you guys that that was the spot that I liked. So hopefully, you guys like that spot with me there, and we're able to get in. So now coming right back to the downside again. That's why we cashed some out there, guys. 2360, 2370. If the NASDAQ goes, we're still going to have lots on board, but we are lighter now as we get out a little bit there on the top of Palantir. Average price 46 is just right here, man. Okay, and then this is starting to go a little bit now too. Maybe we'll get out of some Rocket if we can around that 26 level. What's our average price? 2606. So we're just trying to like stop some of the bleeding here a little bit. We did get out of some Rocket right there, 5% of the position, so nothing really to write home about. But we are trying to pay ourselves a little bit here after the disaster that was NEO. So a little bit out there on Rocket, just trying to save some of the day. The market's going to be back, man. I mean, live to trade another day. You know, this is not the end of the world today. We'll just be responsible, man. The NASDAQ's only down 0.23. I mean, and we're acting like this is a huge problem. It's not. Yeah. Hold some of your longs if you do like it, but we did talk about it being dangerous. It's already broken through this 12,500 level that I thought we needed to hold. So let's see if we get back up there. That's really the point of interest for me. What's up, Beep?
Yeah, context is key, I feel, today. I mentioned that GSX earlier. Here's another one in that same group, METX. On the NASDAQ, 13%. So this entire group looks like reported earnings after market yesterday, it would appear. This one, another Chinese online education company, guys.
Yeah, and so you talk about holding some longs here, but I'll give you a quick look at DraftKings. Just this one popped up on my radar because it actually got to 58 today. It just bounced off of 58 even to the dime. Just to show you guys, look, this is going to be your 50 period, and obviously it's made some really fantastic bounces each time here. So if it can actually consolidate, I know the market's trying to get back to the upside, but it still feels, there's still a bit of a weak-ish feeling for me here, unless we get back above like 12.5 and start pressing towards those highs in the NASDAQ at least, because that seems to be leading the way. In terms of momentum, DraftKings could have made an interesting bottom. It actually could travel to like 56.50 here before it even finds some more support, because it's touched and gone through usually when it's made that test. So I'm going to be watching DraftKings here if it gets back to that 58 low. But if the market comes back down, I'm not married to the idea of just grabbing like a 58, 20, or 30 long in front of low of day. I would allow it to break that level if possible, and then maybe catch it on the way back up. I got burned trying to bottom pick Tesla yesterday because I wouldn't allow it to travel exactly to the price I was interested in. And that's why I wasn't able to hold along. I don't want to make that same mistake. And speaking of Tesla, got to zoom in because your daily's going to mess you up. If we do not hold these levels, you're talking 580 to 600. I mean, you're all the way back into like 565, 65, where you find that next support. And even then, it's sort of tenuous support. 540 probably even better than that. Those are crazy things to say. But if we break bottoms, you got to start thinking about those levels if you want to plan in advance.
Yeah, breaking bottoms, breaking necks, all that kind of stuff today. I did want to remind everybody that 11 o'clock, Marcelina B., one of our favorite guest traders coming through, very informational, educational. We've talked to her a bunch of times about some different names, and she's always all over Twitter. So Marcelina still has it pinned right here with Brendan. So Brendan looking sharp right there. What's up, Brendan? Okay, so Marcelina coming at 11 o'clock. So if you want to hear what just some of our fans are doing and some of our traders are looking at other than Neil, myself, and Brendan, Marcelina at 11 o'clock coming through and will be with us for the last half hour to talk some shop with us. So, you want to talk about Shopify? I don't.
Sean, I don't know what XOM is doing, but Oxy is at a double top 32.50, 49, whatever,
man,
32.49, but 32.50. I'm not really seeing a gigantic. If I was like 100,000 shares in the offer, I'd probably be short like I did yesterday at like 48.5, where you take like that risk a couple of cents to short in front of a key level. In this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and not do that. I'm going to look for the breakout of that long. I'm kicking myself because it gave you a double bottom at 31.50. What was I trying to play on a pullback? Fuel cell. Yeah, I should have been playing Occidental all along. We said we would not do this, and yet here we are trying to break out through 32.50. I actually just saw it go, and yeah, I don't know. It looks like I saw it go to 52. I didn't actually get that fill into the long side, but either way, I'll just take it manually here and end up with a 48. So it broke to 52. I'm going to pick up these 48s here. If it's a fail break, I'll probably give it back to like 25s or so, and then revisit this one over here at VWAP, guys. But either way, you do still see this energy space leading the charge to the upside. 8.5% on Occidental after a big run yesterday's action. Brendan?
Just had an alert on this one, guys. Li Auto is starting to bounce back up along with the rest of the group as well. 21.12 ended up being the bottom there, but trying to get back into the range. 22, big level for Li Auto as well. Still down 3% though.
Yeah, so we are dumping some of this load and lightening the load here a little bit. I mean, I do have an order to go not longer to get out of some more of these shares if we do break to the high side. Remember, our average price on Palantir was about $23.50, so we just were able to get some out in the 70s there. Now we're long. I mean, it's 43, 44. It's just because it takes the average price of all of these, and as we get out, it changes. So, but yeah, a nice little move to the upside. And again, you know, I don't know what this market's going to do, but we're right back to that level that's at that kill spot. So I'm going to hold more Palantir now until see if we break back above here on the NASDAQ. 12,530 basically is the number that I'm going to be looking at for the NASDAQ to go through. So if we have that, I'm actually just going to draw a line here so I can follow it a little bit better. Yeah, that's good enough right there. So we'll just wait to see if that's going to happen. And then we do have the bottom. I don't need to draw the number there. And here it comes right back downside. So a couple of dumps right there out. So that was good, man. We got out of about 40% on the way up and still tried to hold a little bit left. Rocket, okay, no surprise there. Breaks that 25.50. That's why we lightened up a little bit there, but not enough. This is not a huge hit for us, but we did try that on Rocket, and it just didn't go. So we did get out there. This name just continues to fail. We'll see if the Wall Street gang can come back on this one. But some of these high flyers, man, DraftKings down to 58, Square down to 207 now. Yeah, there's just a lot of blood right now in the streets, needless to say, on some of these names, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of blood in the streets here, still working that pullback on Occidental right now. I'm going to have that one up on my level 2. I don't like hard stops in between the high of the day and then VWAP there. So I'm kind of managing this 25 range, 20 to 25 range. But NCLH is very, very weak. It just pushed back into that 29. If you remember, we did talk about this price area of 29 as being sort of a hard floor. And of course, they also had that share offering, which I guess in this market doesn't matter. It might have been well received and had a chance, but not the way these reopened names have pulled back. I'm going to watch this. It's 29.10 actually that it just turned around at, but this is a level I want to see if we can't get a bit of a break back up. I'll take a quick scalp trade from 29.10 in through maybe like a 29.50. And again, not something I want to be holding for too long. It's a pure momentum style play. And of course, Occidental, I give to like that 20 range. I just got out on that pullback. So yesterday, in a very similar setup, I short and lose. Today, I'm like, you know what? Let's not go against energy. I take the long. I go into my pullback range. It goes right to that. It goes right to that 20 area. That's where I decide to add to my shares. I get immediately out. I'll revisit it VWAP here, but I don't know. Like 2 days in a row, I finally come back to the energy space, and I guess I'm a bit rusty here, Sean. I guess it's going to happen to you all the time. We show the winners and the losers. We've got to be honest about it, all of our trades here. And we'll go to Brendan, but we're going to come back to Nicola, which is at $15.
I was just going to mention that. Read my mind. JP Morgan out this morning, guys, talking very negatively about this one again. Nicola, yeah, coming into all-time lows for Nicola. So not far to go here. That level 1350 for Nicola, already down 5%.
Yeah, I mean, what isn't down 5%? I mean, here we go. DraftKings right now down 5% as well. Everything. I mean, it's just embarrassing because not embarrassing for anybody, but just that DraftKings was huge the last couple of days, man. We talked about it being up here at 65. I mean, look at the day chart on DraftKings. Everything you want to buy right now. That's not the day chart. This is the day chart. Everything right now on severe sale right now. Pick up some DraftKings, man. We're approaching that 50-period moving average. And again, you know, people saying Jerome Powell absolutely killing the techs. And yeah, that is what's happening right now. I mean, we knew this was going to be part of the case here. We've been talking about the 10-year. We've been talking about bonds and stuff like that. I talked about that job number today. That was going to be a monster decision day. And it looks like, you know, it's true. We were up about 1.5 points. Now we're down 0.5 point on the NASDAQ by point, I mean percent. And look at DraftKings. Look how high this was, man. We were talking about this. This is on that UFC deal. $74. Like, what has really changed, you know, other than the market just getting absolutely destroyed? What has really changed here in any of these companies' models? It's the growth. It's the growth projection. If you have inflation and you know, you're getting hit, it adjusts the numbers, man. A lot of these expected earnings and things like that have to get levered down, right? And so people are expecting price target cuts, and it's hitting these growth names. This is what you expect in a market like this. So again, if you're panicking right now, there could be a hell of a lot more to come. I mean, we were just at, like, let's just take it back to January. Like, DraftKings was $45, guys. So this was just a monster move up. We just had a monster move in the market. So yeah, it sucks when you look at your bank account or your trading statement and you're like, what the hell's going on here? You know, my portfolio is getting owned, but you were loving it in the up days, right? And so you gotta sort of take it with a grain of salt. This is why I told my 18-year-old, who's almost 19, like, what the hell? I said, stay away from options. You're too young, in my opinion, to be in options. Just pick up quality companies on the way down. If you want to dabble in some options with some profits, that's fine. But definitely, guys, don't try to play these big swings because it's very, very dangerous. And some of the premiums right now in that space are just huge. So just be careful.
That's worth noting. We had this discussion with Mark that in these markets, a lot of the relationships that you will see when it comes to liquidity are not just going to be there in options. And that prices out a lot of trades, and it makes it a lot more risky. I want to come back to this Silvergate because we're at 48.3 and change on spot for Bitcoin. And Silvergate's down 10%. It absolutely cratered. So you're not really even seeing a big move. And this is what I talked about. It's just, look, just you know, get the ETF, buy actual physical Bitcoin, because names like this, and don't get me wrong, you know, all seriousness aside, like, I had no problems like talking this one up back in December, but and it was actually even good in January. But on the way back in, these things are getting absolutely crushed. Maybe this finds a little bit of support, but yeah, some of these stories, you got to take profit. No one ever went broke taking profit. You got to keep that in mind, Brendan.
I mentioned that Belladine earlier. They had their founder departing from the company. This one as well. Getting hit today. Microvision, guys, 11.3% through $12 there. Speaking of growth, MVIS.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted, okay, I mean, here, we're going to go one more shot here on Rocket. If you wanted growth, yeah, MVIS there. They just pumped in, what was it, 250 million or something? I think we put it out on our note there at about 48.8 or so for Bitcoin. So Rocket does come down. It breaks 25, but it doesn't go down that far. So we're going to get back in on this name and see what happens. So we just bought it back there. It breaks, we got out, but now we're back in. So the price on Rocket is going to be a little misleading, 25.17. It's more, you know, my real trade is more up here, 25.50, 25.80. So watch out there. Then Palantir breaks below 23. So yeah, Palantir and Neo, man, the two stocks that I thought may hold up today, just not doing that at all into this destruction. So just, you know what, guys, be very, very careful with any of your longs. We keep saying that. I've been getting destroyed on the long, so.
Yeah, look, I'm going to do this trade on Nikola here, and it is not necessarily about the fact that I think Nikola is going to go up, but there's a decent size level. It's about 15,000 shares or so, and it's past the low of the day now, and this isn't the all-time low. Brendan showed you that 1350, which is 10% as usual. That's an interesting number, I always find. 10% away or so from this 15 break. And I'll try to reverse into a short if it breaks 15, but I'm starting along at 5s. I'll try to pick some up at like 2 or 3 to get a decent average price, maybe risk like 5 or 10 pennies. And then you're just thinking about if it breaks off of this level, I do know that it has a shot to get back to like 20s to 30s. That's a pure scalp day trade. And if it breaks 15, I'll try to reverse into a short style trade. But one of the risks of doing this trade is that we have to fire separate orders. So one to cover my long and the other one to go short. Sometimes that means you miss out on the short trade if you've done that long, but I'll try anyways. Just got the last of my shares, so 3.5 is my average price on Nikola. If it bounces, I'll certainly be taking it out. If it bounces into this chop range here, previous low was at 15.25 area. I'll be all flat if it gets to that price. I'm looking to scalp 20 pennies if I can.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I just fixed the chart that I was having some problems with. Okay, so Rocket starting to finally go, but whatever. We're long in 05s. We still think there's a big opportunity to grab that one to the long side now. And then Palantir may have just blown out that bottom there. We did hold. Look at that. That's that bottom one more time. Should have been picking some stock up instead of getting dumped out there, but it did break. So I got to stay disciplined. We were looking at this level, 12,530. Coming through, but now 12,380 holds. So that's that bottom. There's the move here. There's the economic number coming out. The ADP hits it, and then that's basically where that last bottom was right there. So we're going to have to watch out for that bottom, 12,380. If that comes back in, we'll see one more flush possibly here, and then down to 12,350. If it can hold that, then maybe we can head back to the upside. But for right now, small little position on Palantir, 23.22. We're down on it, but not that much. The real problem today for me was NEO, as that's now down to 30. Like, good thing I dropped this right there, man. Like, look how low NEO just went here. This may be worth a pickup, though, 36.50 on the long side right here of NEO, guys, if the market bounces.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think we're going to be going in just a second to Brendan, but I want to update that Nikola. Just off that 15, like I said, I got 3 halves. I was able to take some out there, 13s, some at 15. It is making a push. I have an offer there at 18 even. And one of the things that'll happen here, and I know, guys, it's usually purple for a short sell, and I know it's red for selling out of a long. But in this particular situation, because of the type of stop order I'm using, that is coded as a sell. So he's going to think it's a short sell. This is me covering my long position, and I'm not even trying to get it back into VWAP here. If it goes to VWAP, I might have 20% that I would hold for a bigger move, but already a nice little trade. And usually you're going to do this when you see a big level at a hard bottom like this on Nikola. So it was a good support level. It's a pure scalp day trade here once we notice it. That's why I showed you guys level 2 to show you the 150,000 shares that was sitting on the bid. Now we can go to Brendan at the big screen for our small cap recap.
Hey guys, 10:20. Let's talk small cap world today. I mentioned this one right before the open at 9:25. If you were joining us in the pre-market, this is already going to sleep. It seems like a lot of these little ones today. Volume is an issue. I was talking about 375 up here, which was that resistance point from aftermarket. We didn't get anywhere near that. We're down to 320, kind of dying off already for Wader Holdings, getting into the cannabis delivery game, guys. This one, however, really good trade. CLPS held below that 550 at the open, gave you a couple of opportunities, even gave you a chance to kind of catch it on a retest of 5 again. So moving back downside here for CLPS. Long way to go to get back down to where it was yesterday, back below 4. I've also been focusing on this one today. Obviously not a small cap, an ETF, but this Buzz, very, very weak, pushing on day lows right now for Buzz. Lots of liquidity and volume in that one again today, guys.
All right, so we did pick up 36.11s on the downside here of NEO. So we did pick up a little bit here, just to see, guys, if it does hold this. Like, if it does hold this, NEO did get excited there, back to the upside. It got as high as 50 there. So instead of like taking breakouts, we're just going to see if we can't hold the bottom. I mean, as soon as I say that, it doesn't look like it wants to hold the bottom at all. 35.85 here on NEO, worth holding just a little bit below that. If we check out a daily chart here, I mean, wow, there's opportunities here to buy names at such, like, these prices are nuts. We were talking about Citron and like saying, like, you know what, like, where did Citron call this bottom? Was 25, they said. I mean, they had to let it go all the way to 65 first, right? But yeah, this is just pulling back in as there the NASDAQ breaks the bottom. So really nothing here on NEO. I mean, it's just a disgrace that this stock is just not a disgrace. I mean, look at the fall from grace, 62. This is chopped in half now, NEO in half in 3 weeks. So big move to the downside there, guys. Yeah, I can't even really see anything. And I look for clusters we're down here, but we broke that. This is why the 50 period is so key, man, to watch out, to look at some of your trades. 50 period just rings supreme right there. Rocket, we're able to get some out, thank God, on that move there. So in, and then out on there. Still waiting for a break upside, but this market, man, relentless to the downside. What's up, B?
GPS, guys, Gap, another earnings name we didn't mention in the pre-market. We'll have a look. Nice pop this morning, right at the open here from 26.5 to 28. We're at recent high territory here. It's struggling, though. 27.50 is that last high over there for Gap, up 8% today.
And there goes Nicola through that 15. I got out and I got short at 99. I have taken some of it out already for a bit of a scalp trade, but didn't go very far. I was trying to see if we couldn't get a push through that 90. Anytime you get that initial breakdown style trade, you usually see in that first little 10 cents as a day trader, try to take advantage of that liquidity to get some of your position out, bank that quick profit so that you're playing with a bit of house money if you get a continuation move. So it's the reverse of that long trade. And this is why I was aggressively getting out in front of that 20, and I wanted as much off as possible. It's just knowing that this market was weak, the stock is weak, it does feel like if it continues this move, now you did have this last time, it held off 15 even, right? So now that it's broken, there is a bigger move possible, especially if we take out the lows of the day here. You could all get all the way to 14, maybe even a 13.50 on a Nicola. But the NASDAQ is holding some of those overnight bottoms that we looked at a little bit earlier, that 12.3.
Yeah, I'm saying to myself, I don't know. I don't know if the NASDAQ's holding, man. This is getting to be, you have to watch. Yeah, the time in sales here is starting to get a little aggressive to the downside, I was noticing. The red print's a lot more furious than the green prints there. I don't know if you can see that on, yeah, I guess. I used black on here to differentiate it from our actual equity time in sales, but you could see here, not good, man. 57, 58, 56s. I mean, we're breaking lower right now. The velocity and of trades to the downside is so much greater than that to the upside. So we're going to dump this. We're getting very, very close, man. 35.60 break. We're going to be out, and we're going to see it later to that one. There we go. Oh, that was Palantir downside, man. Now 22.70. Look at this. Down. I mean, the destruction continues on Palantir. I actually picked up some options yesterday thinking that we could test that 25 level, which we did, 24.90. But look at this stock, man. Like, when are the saviors coming in for this one? Maybe never, as the market trying to find bottoms, and I don't know where there will be one. I'm just told holding only one short, which is a monster. Wish we held all of this. But yeah, the market just relentless to the downside here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to show you a stock that actually is still up. But remember, a lot of these small cap names that are running on positive news, that are gappers, are going to move on their own. And that's the thing you have to keep in mind. This is why you sort of we'll treat the names that are moving crazy, and we'll reference the futures. But I don't care necessarily about that. When I'm looking at eyes here, I had one short today off of this like 265 area. It immediately broke out. Tight stops whenever I'm playing a level like that, guys, because this is exactly what can happen. It can push. You can get one of these big time breaks. This is the reason I kind of like that 265 area. You did have some cover previously on the daily chart. It just stalled out at 315, which kind of a level here, and then if it goes any higher, you're looking at like a 340 handle price, whatever you want, through that top. I do feel like I want to be shorting again if it makes a test. It maybe fails at like $3 because 310 gives you some cover there. But keep in mind, the stock is holding up volume pretty well. One of the few names that is pushing. So when I trade against the grain here, you're looking to take paper cuts and then catch a big win on the short side, right? So it's not about shorting into it and then just holding into oblivion or averaging into oblivion. That can get you in a heck of a lot of trouble if you're short selling on something up 100%, which is still going.
Yeah, watch out. Damn it, like now you come back here. Okay, so now the market's trying to go. Maybe we just made that bottom again. I mean, whatever, man. We loaded back up on Palantir. Of course we did. Like, what else is new? I've just been getting crushed on this stock all day. So let's see if it can give us a little bit of a profitable trade to the backside now on Palantir. So we'll see. In there, we just took that bottom there and made that bottom at 25. Sometimes when you get these like blow down wicks there, obviously it's going to matter about the market, but sometimes those are the bottom of the market. So we'll see, not the market, the stock. We'll see if that holds true there. That's why we got back in. No other reason. We're just going to hold it against that bottom wick. If that comes through, that comes through. Rocket takes back off there, so we thank God we didn't get stopped out of that one. You do have a Doji Star reversal to the bottom there, so that could make a move to the upside. But again, it's all dependent on this stupid NASDAQ, as that just keeps on failing, then these NASDAQ stocks will continue to fail, right? So even though NEO is not a NASDAQ listed stock, it's obviously a growth stock and a tech stock. So we'll watch NEO. Same thing with Palantir. We'll watch that one, see if we have some bottom picks there. I'm not really going to get out of any of this just in case this move is real. I think we can get back to 23.10 here or so if that name can be true. So we'll get a little bit out. If we do get back to this level, 22.90 or so, I think that would be, diligent of me to do that, and we'll get some responsible here as it's coming back to the upside now. Finally, I have a winner. I got to take something out. What's up, Brendan?
T2 Biosystems, another earnings name, was on the list this morning, guys, to the downside. Wow, 24% after positive earnings here. You can see the bump aftermarket yesterday, all the way back to $1.50 on huge volume for this one, guys.
What is Rocket doing?
Well, that didn't take very long on eyes, those ears, that move. I actually still have like 10% of it here because didn't even have my correct lot to the short side. That's how fast that move happened. So I'm actually sitting here holding 10% of it at 99 because I never even got any extra shares there. I'm not saying it's going to halt. But if it breaks 25, we'll cover the rest of this. You do see this move, and this is a 1-minute chart. So this is literally in a couple of minutes here that this is now gone. Up now, it's like 20%. You go like a 270 into like a 330. And I guess I shouldn't complain that it's not halting because, hey, a stock that has moved that much, when it does make that big of a 50-cent move, let's keep in mind this was a $1.40 stock. So in retrospect, it's not a huge move. But I usually think they would halt in that particular case. I did talk about that 340 level. It's trying to turn now off 330. Had that been 340 to 350, I probably would have dipped into another short, but I don't want to chase it too far. I should go back over to Nikola because I can sit here and talk. Sometimes you'll see me like try to analyze and over-talk the losers there from time to time. I did it with Slug, and I'll probably do it there. Meanwhile, I could just be doing this and celebrating the money that's coming in on Nikola, which I'll go ahead and do. And I promise you, when we went to Brendan for Nikola, I was watching, I swear to God, I was looking at the same chart at the same time, looking at that bottom, and then didn't know we were throwing to Brendan for Nikola because I guess great minds think alike. But either way, it was a volume spike heading into that lower day. It is now broken out. I still have shares. I just got someone at 80. I have bids in front of 70. I got bids in front of 1450. If it breaks 1450, I mean, then floodgates. All-time lows would be in play on Nikola, which is crazy to say, but sometimes it's okay to be late to the party. Because there's so much momentum to the downside, and we still haven't even broken those lows in the NASDAQ. If that happens, Nikola's going to get crushed. Brendan?
All right. We've been looking at these little gaming stocks throughout the week. That SLGG one. This is another one. AESE also coming into day lows. This thing's been on a tear as well the past couple of days. So a couple of these coming back to the downside in a big hurry. It's 10:30. That means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V is watching. What's happening over there? What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets slightly recover from earlier losses and mix now. Travel sector has the largest losses today, with CCL trading in London down more than 7%. Back to you.
Yeah, overall, I mean, it's kind of negative, but markets are kind of choppy at this point, guys.
Choppy. I guess pretty choppy. Choppy at the lows right now. Here we go. Lows coming again, guys. Just getting burned on everything here. So we're gonna have to wait to see. There's Palantir breaking back down. We got out of that one. This was not a big hit. We did take some out there, but there's the in, there's the out. So yeah, Palantir just flush city, man, breaking down through $22 now. Let's check a daily chart for Palantir because every level that we thought was support has been broken, like 23.20, 24, all these levels that were bouncing the last couple days there on these bottom wicks, all not able to hold through what today looks to be maybe the flush day. I guess now we're gonna have to wait to see about the afternoon if we do get any, some decent size there, but whatever, we'll wait to see if it holds. It looks like it's probably gonna crack. There's the level 22, 23. You could take one more stab and just use that 22 as a bottom, but Palantir just falls. And here it does a nice little move back off from there, but it's only 46 million shares, right? It could just kill that number at 22 in 1 second. So just watch out for that. That's moving around. Rocket's trying to hold the bottom, so at least that's nice.
Yeah, and I'm honestly just throwing this in the chat, but we're just breaking 580 on Tesla here, and it's the second time it's gone through that particular price. If we do get to the 560, and this is 566, we'll call it 565 because you got to give it some extra room. We get down there, I'm taking a shot at Tesla. I went over what went wrong with this one yesterday, and the NASDAQ's actually still above that 12.3 mark. I mean, if there's any chance that Tesla could bounce off of that level without us cracking that 12.3 on the NASDAQ. It's just a trade that I have to have, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't try it. So we're about $10 away from that price. Going to get locked and loaded, ready to go. And I am holding a short in Nikola while discussing that on Tesla. And then there goes Virgin Galactic. And so I got, look, and this is going to look pretty ugly on the wick. I gave the last little bit to break even. And then when it rolled over, I didn't play off that 27.50 again. And I didn't even consider the bottom break, 26.50. But now you're approaching 25. And remember those levels when you go back to the previous consolidation, it was off 22.50 to 25 and then breaking out 27.50. So every $2.50 was key. Looks like we're going to get some of those support levels on Virgin Galactic. You never went broke taking profit. I cannot say that enough for a lot of these levels. That I stock is still going now, heading towards that 340.
Wow.
I'm probably not done with it. For your eyes only, that's one of the few things that's rocketing to the upside.
Look at this, man. I'm just sitting here watching this as Palantir. Oh, that's still the daily chart. As we just got out. As Palantir just, wow, size fall, and not even size falling it down anymore, but this just broke that 22 there. And I mean, you know what? Just, damn it, I just can't believe. I mean, wow, CCL is huge in the money, but who cares? Palantir down, 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 Neo down, 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 Rocket down. Like everything just getting killed today. Everything that was a high beta, high stock related to the NASDAQ there or to the market just continues to get crushed. NASDAQ does not hold at all these levels, and it's just like destruction now downside. So we talked, wow, Square at 200. Felt pretty good buying it at what did I say, 212 yesterday? We'll double check that, but now Square breaking down to 200 here. Like, pick your poison, man. I mean, I can't just keep going long and wonder about what kind of a day this is going to be. It's a down day, Sean. It's a down day. Square all the way to here. This level 196, 197 could be worth it. A shot here on Square. But wow, a big move to the downside here. When will this stop? Nobody knows.
Yeah, I just covered some more. I'm going to do a bit of a fist bump for that Nikola, guys. But I just showed you that eyes because it's really strong. It took a hit shorting that, of course. And then you look at GameStop here, which is, if you're looking for long breaks, these are the only ones in town here. Energy was strong at one point. There was a bit of a pullback. GameStop pulling into and breaking that 142 area. Now it's on the march towards a 150. I might start just putting in the back of pocket here those breakout style trades. Like, why not just go long on the 145 break, scalp it off, and then watch for 150? Brendo?
Looking at eyes, I'll show you ears as well. EARS just popping up on volume here, 12%. Just double checking on ears, guys.
Of course.
Eyes and ears, man, have them all. Wow, Palantir, this is just like, I'm holding small. I mean, every single position that I have right now is small. I mean, I've emptied out everything. You can see me with Rocket, Neo, Palantir, Square. We just took a Square trade. That could fall down again. We're going to use this 197.50 as a maybe an area there. Here it comes right to the downside. So as the market keeps on cracking, everything I have is small, but it looks like we're going to get cracked out of this one as well as Square keeps going to the downside. The most impressive move to the downside to me is Neo, Neo and Palantir. I mean, both names I'm going long on. Look at this. This is just crush city. Like, I'm so glad we could have been down 10x what we're down right now if we just kept on babying this. But thank God we left some of this for dead. Now the NASDAQ looks like it may want to go back up. But yeah, wow, Neo doesn't want to go back up at all. Like, if I just keep testing some of these bottoms, eventually, see, there we go. Like, we'd get stopped out again if we tested that bottom on Neo. It's not going up, man. Do not try to bottom pick that one. I wanted to talk about Peloton because that was at 100 before, and now it's at 96. Like, okay, we went long 120, able to get to this one. I think it was 154, 155. Peloton just getting woodshedded. Let's check back on Boeing, man. I mean, that was another name that I love here. That's down as well, down 3% today. Boeing, though, might be a good pickup right here off of these levels, 218.80. But wow, here it comes again. Yesterday's bottom in Boeing, 218.69, 218.70. Wow, when will this bottom come through? Never, I think, is the answer.
Well, I don't know about never because we're trying to level off here, but I can tell you, look, and this is good. When I talk about breakout trades, this is what's going to happen here because when you take a breakout, it's in and out and it's going to be fast. And I said to myself, okay, 145 break on GameStop here, I would take it. And what I should be doing, I had this conversation with one of the traders on the floor, is like change your default so that no matter what happens, when you go to cover on the initial push, it's only for like 70 or 80%, so you can hold. Because look, I'm going to get out for that quick, like easy dollar winner. And I'm telling you, it's about as easy a buck as you'll ever catch in the market on a breakout trade. And then if I hold 20%, I can cash 2 or 3. I like the 150. It's starting to get a little more parabolic, however, so it would be healthy for it to pull back. If you're doing breakout trades, it's healthy for it to pull back, give some consolidation, build up a little bit, and then maybe even bounce off that level once or twice. So I will be looking at that 150. I should have been, like, whatever, man. I should have been doing this like the other day where you're just taking every single one of these because when it has this kind of momentum and it's the only game in town, it's certainly going to be worth it. I did get a bad trigger into Tesla, which thank goodness I was able to immediately get out of for a small loss. But anytime you have a stop order that is at a price you didn't want accidentally, don't try to make a trade work for you that you didn't want. I just got out of it instantaneously. But GameStop firmly back on the radar in this momentum play. 150 the next level. Brendo.
If we do get a bounce, guys, just having a look at the semiconductors right now as far as what is positive, and this just popped up. So TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, still, yeah, up 0.75%, trying to get back down to 116, where it ended yesterday, but relative strength a little bit anyways in TSM.
Yeah, I don't know where there's going to be relative strength in anything that I'm looking at right now. 34.50 maybe on NEO. Okay, but thank God, man, we have a nice little $3 winner right now on Square. So we went back there, we looked at that 200 level. We talked about that bottom. Obviously, it held because the market started going off. Probably worth taking a little bit off again here on Square if we can, ahead of 201. We did take some out at $200.55. Let's take off one more piece ahead of 201 if we're lucky enough to get that. And then the next out, hopefully, it could be 204. Oh, man, but I mean, you know, we're drawing at straws here, guys. Just trying to make something happen. I'm not trying to make it happen, but there it is, a nice little win. I'm not going to hit any buttons, man, because we need this market to go way back up. Like, I mean, sure, I'm in the money. You know, Square is actually now going to be one of my biggest stocks if it continues to go up. But whatever. I mean, I'm not going to make as much as we've lost on some of these other names. But I just made back quite a decent amount there because of this Square trade. So I'm happy. Let's see if that can get going. I do like NEO now. We just took a break of those levels through 34.50. So let's take off a little bit there at 52 as it does come back to the upside. So we'll take a little bit off there. We take some shares on the bottom for NEO. We are going to wait to see if it does break this 33. What is this level here? I'm not going to get any more shares out until it comes back down to 33.83. So if it breaks 33.83, then we're going to be out of NEO. But wow, a weak break there of 34.50. We noticed that. We got some out at least. I don't want to hold it all the way, but 33 right now. In case the market battles back down, 33.82, which it looks like it's trying to do right now. That's going to be our next out for NIO.
Yeah, and breathe and stop. For real, this market is fantastic, but I think at times we get a little bit out of hand. I do this every single time we make these moves down. We are 1% down on the NASDAQ. 1%, actually 0.9%. I'm even lying about that, 0.9%. So I know these are crazy. This is crazy on individual names. We're covering the ones that are moving. Keep things in perspective, man. I was just looking at Pfizer. Like, stocks like that are doing okay. GameStop we do have to look at because I talked about the momentum. And yes, I am scalping this stock, and that's going to be the style of trade I'm going to prefer here. And there's another break. Of course, look at that. It actually breaks. Does not go for me initially. It is what it is, guys. Every now and then you're going to catch one of these. Give it like $1 back before you want to lose any more than that, because if you're only making $1, you don't want to be losing too much more than that on these GameStop plays.
Yeah, no, GameStop, yeah, that's, I mean, yeah, GameStop and AMC. Let's check out AMC today, as we'll just wait to see what NEO does. I've already given you that bottom. Yeah, I mean, the wreckage continues basically on every stock. AMC, I mean, every stock right now is going to look like this because we are approaching the bottom of the NASDAQ right now. And then AMC right here, 762, 760 and change. We got to wait to see what this does to the bottom side. But yeah, it's been pretty much of a disaster play here for me today. Okay, here we go. Maybe Square can get back to 203, 204. We'll see if that can come through. Trying to find some winners here, guys. NEO bouncing around back up to 34.40. We averaged in there nicely at 34.09. What's up, Brendan, at the big screen with Sector Watch? Actually doesn't look that bad.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500, see what is leading the way here. I have this window stuck for some reason. Oh, there it goes. Dollar General was highlighted there. But yeah, very mixed as far as the entire market is concerned. 0.2% only for the S&P. Energy stocks, the big reason as far as strength is concerned, kind of or trying to, at least I should say, offset some of the weakness here. FANG, OXY, NOV, COPD, VN. We saw MRO right at the open there was number 3 or 4 on the imbalance locator with a big buy order. Consumer staples over in the corner here providing some strength as well, but have a look at energy stocks. There's individual names here in the healthcare group as well, trying to get higher. X-ray and COO, 2.9 and 3.6%. To the upside. To the downside again today, travel names. Here's the airlines right here. I'll highlight AAL, DAL, UAL, and Love, all 4 to 6% in negative territory. Alaska in here as well to the downside. Boeing as well, 2.4% in negative territory. If you have a look at the retail sector, you can see there's Gap we talked about, 6% higher. But offset and then some by Etsy and a bunch of other ones that are negative here. Almost 6% to the downside for Etsy today. Here's the cruise lines, 14.5% on the offering for Norwegian, CCL, RCL, and MGM, LVS, some of the hotel operators there as well. So consumer discretionary is the worst off at this point. Tech stocks are basically break even. They're kind of flip-flopping back and forth. ENPH here, 7.7%. The semiconductors leading the way. I mentioned semis very, very weak, but number of names in the software group and the hardware maker group that are positive, trying to offset that. Yeah, overall, 0.2% for the S&P. Let's go back to Sean.
Okay, yeah, so things now finally, guys, coming through for me. NEO to the upside, we just took some out. This was a decent position for me, so we are going to take some more out on the upside just in case this move doesn't last. So we're out a little bit there on the upside, like we just mentioned there. And we did take another trade here on Palantir. We'll see if this one can retrace back up. Again, let's get some out just in case it's not, you know, a move that can be sustained here. So right now we're way back into the money, man. I've just made back a hell of a lot of money that we got crushed. So we're just making that money back right now. A nice big win, man. A $3 win. We'll hit this super here before for Square as it just goes back to the upside. Look at this bottom pick there. Finally, like I just want to, you know what? Where's something? I need to put myself in the gates of hell. I don't know what to do. I'm going to flush myself down the toilet because just not great trading today. And now we have the winners on. But whatever, like we've lost too much. So what am I going to do? Just get back to zero? Would be nice, actually, if I could do that. So we'll wait to see. But I'm flushing myself down the toilet because, you know what? We talked about being patient, waiting for Neil. Like now I have like a monster trade on here. We'll get bang. Screw you, bang. Yeah, back to the upside, 35 and change. Like, this is a good little trade for us. Just moves up $1. We kept stupid not to take some out. We'll see if it get back to 36. Like, just a little bit mover on the NASDAQ, and these stocks are rocketing now to the upside. So, I mean, we'll take the credit where credit's due. We do have these longs. But, yeah, I'm mad because, again, like, we lost too much money on this fall. It wasn't even Palantir. It was more NEO. We're going to have to revisit some NEO. I'm going to do some work over the weekend and just see about that stock because it's definitely not strong and can't get going. Palantir today, man, we haven't lost that much on it as we do have some good bangers here, but we need this to go back to the upside, man. Like VWAP would be a savior for me up to $23. That would be huge if we could get that.
Yeah, and look, Sean, you said something there, and I'm like, you remember the old term, gain from the bottom? I will tell you this, we've both been trading a very long time. Literally the most satisfying thing for a trader is when you have like a rough morning, and then it's like literally getting back green or one of those days where you build back and you have that impressive comeback. Why? Because it's easy to let emotions take over, but you just follow the process. You find the bottom pick. For me today, it was more about quickly finding some reversals. I know sometimes you'll miss out on the moves downside. Like look at Nikola, right? Like if this was on my radar at 9:30, I'm definitely shorting a 16 break, but I'm not looking at it till it breaks at 15, and I like that long because of the buyer, but you can't fight the tape. You reverse to the short, and that's why it'll end up being a good trade for me. That's the kind of thing that will save the day. I really wish Tesla had turned around. I liked 566 as that price area. Remember I told you guys the accidental short? Yeah, so some of these wicks that were coming through were triggering some stop orders, guys. So I saw that happen to me. I just got in and got out flat. 566, I thought that would be the turn. It hasn't even gotten there yet. And if we break lower, there's still time. It's going to be a big level. I looked at it on the daily chart, but I want to be patient about trying to pick bottoms on this particular day in Tesla specifically. Time to go to Miss V at the big screen.
Hey guys, here's the stock I trade today. Johnson & Johnson is trading on a high volume following news that Canada approved its single-shot COVID-19 vaccine. What do you think, guys? And do you see any opportunities for yourself in J&J?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a long-term shareholder in J&J and have been for years, and it doesn't really move that much. And I was going to say, you know, the opportunity right now is a flight to safety. So, you know, if you are nervous about the market, obviously, as we all are, as it just keeps on falling down, you know, J&J today up that 0.85, right? I mean, I just think that, you know, they take advantage of global economy, the strength in the economy. There's more people buying, you know, the different products that they have. Forget about the vaccine side of things. Obviously, it's a good news. The more they get approved, the better it is for not just the world, but for them as well. It's a one shot that they have, right? So, but for me, for today, yeah, I mean, it's 1.7 million. I guess that's more volume than average for J&J. But I mean, with the volume that the market's doing right now, no surprise there. I just, you know what? I mean, to dig your teeth into something like this, it's not super exciting for me. But yeah, I mean, it would have been better trading this today than anything that I had. So J&J right now, watch it off this view up. I can think that because there's some news out today, maybe these bottoms do wind up holding. So if you get back down to this side here, if the market can't hold, then I think J&J is probably worth it. But I don't know. It's a little bit of a boring day trade, but for a longer term position, again, we talk about this all the time. I don't have a problem looking at this. This is what I mean. Like they started getting approved in the vaccine area, and then it just a market move down, right? So J&J did get some love not too long ago. We're back down below this 50 period. I think it's worth buying, you know, into this area. You have a lot of protection down here. Plus you have a dividend that can sit there and be good for you. Okay, market. Here we go, man. NEO back upside. So we're gonna take some more out here if we can. A nice little run to the upside. We haven't taken any out on these dips, so we got to take some out on the rippers up. 35.21. Let's get some out here in the teens if we can on a nice little move. Man, we're making some of that money back.
Yeah, and speaking of bounces back, DraftKings just pushed off of a 55.50 or so. I think the retracement, or at least the pullback, is off this name. And I want to be very careful about where I bottom picked. And we talked a little bit about DraftKings for long term, dipping down like that past that 58. And then when we looked at what the market was doing, just sort of noted, hey, like 56.50 could be a little bit of a better level. Just go deeper. It tends to break that 50 period each time. On that little, I keep saying flash crash, but that's not what it was last week. You can give a name to it if you want. It was about 55.50, which I think provides you some cover below today's low of day. So we're trying to break back up. I see the market trying to hold up here. I'll catch this break. I actually got 56.73 because this 75 is an iceberg order that won't go anywhere. So it is what it is. Oh, it just finally broke. You saw that live. That was 75 iceberg that just broke, so I got 73s long. I'll take some out in front of this chop range. It's about 57.50 to 57.75. Probably take some out in front of VWAP as well. But if this is the turn, you know, there's some names you have to like a little bit better than others. Square was fantastic. It worked yesterday. I'm not sure why I didn't go back to it today. I'm glad you did, Sean. But certainly if Tesla had gone to the price, my mistake yesterday was not waiting for the specific price I liked on the bottom pick. Today, if I got in too early, it actually might be working out. But you can't break your rules and win and expect that to work in the long term.
Yeah, just talking with CEO Daniel Schlepfer here. Okay, Palantir, man, a nice little move to the upside again. 22.20 there. Looking to see about getting out. We'll see. We just did get out. I'm not looking to see about getting out. I'm looking to see about this 23 level there. No more getting out of NEO. No more getting out of Palantir. That's probably going to be a lie. Like, I've just made back like half of what I lost in the beginning, and that's just basically off of this NEO trade right here, and then off of this Palantir trade as well. You might not think that this, because remember, Palantir wasn't that bad, so the fact that we're able to average in and then take a 22 break allows me to get out here, which is bumping that stock up a little bit back for me. So, but the big trade for me, I don't even have any offers out right now. We'll kick the horse and square. You know, a good bottom there, 198. We gave it to the bottom, you know, breaking through 197. Thank God I didn't get wicked out there. Shit would have been thrown around the studio. So that was good that we didn't have that happen. So everyone survived. Now we'll wait to see about getting back up, man. Let's see if this NASDAQ goes. We've got square at the bottom. Oh, hell yeah. F you, market. The money's coming out now. Thank God we're making that money back, man. We've made back a ton of money here, and thank God for that one. As Valeria, you still need to put some more pink in that here. You know what? I had a good day Monday. Actually, I've had a good day every day this week, so it's okay, but maybe some more pink in there. Let's check out the likes, man. Look, I know people don't like the show because, you know, the market's been down today, and people holding the bag would get killed, but at least like it for the content. We've been doing great. Valeria, just give them, are you guys ready for Valeria? I know you're ready for Brendan, but let's go go to Valeria here. We only have 2.5K likes. Maybe you can get this going. $5 winner now on Square, Valeria.
Yes, guys, please, we need your support as never. We are here for you every day. Doesn't matter market goes up or down. So please give us your support back. Let's push likes at least to 3,000 of them. And hopefully we will bring positivity to the market also. Back to Brandon.
Just reading a note on FedEx, guys, talking about electrifying their entire fleet. That would be big. Let's talk about currencies right now. DXY, we were mentioning this earlier in the week, kind of making a bottom. We talked about that 89.5 to 90 area down here. It tested it 2 times, breaking to the upside today on that jobs number, better than expected, but obviously going to be an increase in inflation. If we come back to the top here, that means a lot of these, all of them were in negative territory, but still some underlying strength in the Canadian dollar, back to the upside here, 0.1%, 79 versus the US dollar. The euro, the British pound, though, both significantly lower on the day, 0.4% for both right now, back to 138 there. For the British pound, Japanese yen, Swiss franc, basically flat on the day. Australia and New Zealand also downside. We're starting to see the Turkish lira kind of move in the same way as Japanese yen, Swiss franc over the past few sessions. Anyways, it has been tied to both of these with volatility. Bottom end of the screen here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. Bitcoin is positive, but only just kind of struggling today. Ethereum as well, back to the downside. 1,487 for Ethereum. Guys, back over to you.
Okay, so I just talked about this. Brendan's going to come back. Yes, Square, $7 now in the money on Square. If I got wicked out here, I'm just telling you that would have been a nightmare for me. And so thank God that didn't happen. Brendan will come here, but MindMed halted to the downside, I would think, here on a circuit breaker. I'm guessing that's what's happened. Down 22.2%, leading the way. I don't know what it is in Toronto, but 2.6 million shares, probably pretty good for volume on that one. Okay, NEO, what a great bottom pick that was. Obviously, we wish we still had them all, but this has brought my day right back. You're seeing probably with a change of demeanor a little bit here, right back. So let's just keep on going. We're just taking some out slowly. We can't have all this money if I take them all out. So we'll just slowly take it out on the way back up. But MindMed, Brendan will come with some news. It's limit down, but I just want to see why. Obviously, the market getting crushed. That's probably why. But MindMed limit down, guys.
So I actually checked, and IROC's halt page, I didn't see it up yet, but certainly, obviously, you saw the chart. It's likely limit down. DraftKings, of course, I'm offering in front of 57.50. I did actually take some more shares on the way up instead of on the way down, so I got a price of 81s through 56.81s. Tried to catch like that 50-cent winner, so did just miss out. I'll leave my order in here so we can take that 50-cent winner. Thank you guys so much for getting us to 3,000 likes. I got the cue ball look for you guys because we got to 5,000. Remember, 7,000 tentatively, I think, can get us that blue hair, Miss V. I think you look fantastic in the baby blue. But there we go. Oh my gosh, all I had to do was whine about the fact that I just missed out on that 50-cent first out on DraftKings. Again, try to be careful with my bottom pick here, and I went with DraftKings. Of course, Tesla did not get to the price that I wanted, but if we can get back to VWAP, I'll take another leg off. I do want to hold a third of this DraftKings to see if we can't push back up to like a 60 level, because if the market bounces, I can't think of a better name to, well, yeah, I mean, Tesla at the bottom was probably a good name to be in, but I can't think of too many better names.
Yeah, I mean, I already got the best name, I think. A Square right there. Lucky to pick that up, man. Like, that's just a big win for us. We just took a little piece out there at 204.50 for that $7 win. I mean, obviously, Tesla was monstrous as well to the backside. And I think we did pretty good here with NEO. Still have a decent spot on here. Man, we made a lot of money back, and we're really happy with the way this day is ending anyways. Not ending. You know, the show's coming. Oh, Marcelina's coming soon in 5 minutes. We have Marcelina. I just looked at the clock. I was like, what the hell? Marcelina B from Texas. I want to ask her because Texas just said like no masks to the masks, right? They're like, screw the mask thing. No one has to wear a mask. I'm going to ask her about that. I don't think they were too worried about it in the first place. So we'll wait to see there. Let's get some more off. It looks like the market's coming back down. We're not going to celebrate all these victories and still have them on. So, but we just made back half our day. So hallelujah on that one. We definitely picked up some right names on the upside, but had them on the downside as well, which created some anarchy and hell for me on my P&L. But Square, still a nice little trade. We'll see what Marcelino was trading. I hope Marcelino didn't get killed as well, because then that'll be a sad day as both of us, hopefully not destroyed. What's up, Marcel or Brendan?
Yeah, not seeing anything, guys, as far as this one is concerned. Keep in mind, this was a huge level, obviously, on the daily chart here for some stops, probably 350. Below that 350 support would have been in trouble for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that's an unbelievable move in my man. Look, might be looking at this stock just on a pure volume play and momentum over here in Toronto for the rest of the session here, because if you can find a good trigger to get some juice in the market on these days of anarchy, then I think that you got to go ahead and do that. And sort of speaking of, come on, load. Sort of speaking of bottom picks here, I want to go over to Boeing for a quick second, because it just made like a 218.50 low there, trying to break back above this, like we're trying to hold back above this 220. Usually a more stable stock. When I gave you the 15-minute look, just so you can see yesterday's bottom, what's that price? Oh yeah, look at that. Double bottom here on Boeing if you go back into yesterday's action.
Oh, I just talked about that Boeing bottom.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. You gotta go to the symbol you like. It was DraftKings for me, so I'm gonna miss out on this Boeing as well here, Sean, but I'm not sure it's done yet, because the market is still holding these lows, and Boeing is still above that 220. So I might take a little pinprick here in front of 220 if I can get it. And then, you work it to that low of day. If we break the lows, that's fine. But certainly, it's a couple of bucks from the low, a couple of bucks, or $3 or $4 to VWAP. I like the risk to return. DraftKings is holding at about 50 cents up. I'll take some more off if it gives me $1 and then see how far we head to the upside. Of course, my bid just got missed there. I don't want to be too aggressive because if the low is 218.50 and I want to use that or just below it as my out, if you chase it too far, the risk to reward doesn't work for me.
Okay, so hot dog cannon at least for something here. For Square. Whack. Okay, Square back to, it's just too bad, because we talked about trying to hold some, and we did. We hold only 25%, but at least we're still holding it. No, sorry, 20, 40, 60, 80, 20% back. Now each one of these is a 20% out. Out. I get, this was really the out that maybe I should not have taken. I'm happy with these two outs. But then maybe this one should, possibly not. But I was liking it as we dip down here. The only thing I really regret about this trade so far is not getting the reload right there at 200. So that's really the only thing we regret. So right now, a big $1.60 win here on NEO. So we'll take a little bit more out there at 75, 76. This is the way I've just been trading it. Pretty good to the upside. Each one of these is like 5% out. So just up, allowing us to hold this. Normally when I'm trying to pick the bottom, you saw me yesterday do the same thing on NEO. I would have liked to hold a little bit more, but just the NASDAQ just keeps on doing these dances, man. And like, honestly, I'm really surprised that some of these trades are still holding up. So we're just getting out. Like, look at this Palantir. We've been getting out of Palantir, like, 40s. Like, it didn't break. So we just got out a whole bunch of times there. Got out a little bit more right there on that move back down. So I don't know. The only thing I'll probably hold is Square, because again, it looks like it's basing out again, and we could get an upside break. So watch out for Square. Bitcoin though, down to 47.8 as well. Here's Bitcoin, makes a move back to 48.8 there. Takes off about $1,000, 1,500 from that bottom, 1,800 from this bottom made there. But now Bitcoin's trying to hold, man. If the NASDAQ, look, it just looks exactly like NASDAQ. If NASDAQ can hold the bottoms too, this could be a good time to pick up some Bitcoin and go pack go.
Go pack, go. There you go. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I want to come back over to, if I can, I did just get into that Boeing trade. So I actually got like 219.61. Market turned around a little bit. And just to remind you guys, it was a great short on Nikola. It did break back above like a 1480. I took it off when it got out. That was just literally the last 10% of my position. So it was a reversal from the long at 1503 into that short at 99. That trade, I got out of it about 10 minutes or so ago. I forgot to mention that to you guys. You guys can see it went away from my board. So I'm not going long or reversing into Nikola. Picked the DraftKings and Boeing as these bounce back plays. Time to go to Mr. Brennan for an introduction, I believe.
Indeed, guys, yes, we are very happy. It's Friday. Tech stocks are getting wrecked. The market is pretty negative here. We thought we'd lighten the mood a little bit and bring our friend Marcelina back on. Second time? Third time? Second time, I think. Second time on the show. Great to see you, Marcelina. Welcome back. How has your Friday been? It's been a bit of a struggle so far for anyone looking at these crazy stocks that we have been over the past couple of weeks.
Yes, it's been really challenging lately, and today I didn't trade anything because it's just too hard
Yeah, good choice. There has been definitely a shift in momentum and a shift in direction as far as some of these high-flying names that we've seen over the past couple of weeks. But you know, if you don't see the trade that you like, there's no reason why you have to actually trade. So great choice. I'll bring in Neil and Sean here.
Correct. Yeah, great choice. Oh, and twinsies right now. I can see that, Marcelina. So as if we planned that, but we did not. It's Casual Friday. Thank you for supporting the show and picking up that hoodie. Yeah, wise decision today, Marcelina, not to really be trading anything as we've seen the market just continue to go to the downside. Tell me about it. You are from which part of the fine USA?
Houston.
Houston, and we just saw the release, I think it was, what was it, last weekend there, that there's no mask mandate at all over there. How do you feel about that? And what does it seem like in the community? Has the virus sort of been held down, or what's going on over there? Are we wrong to assume that the whole world's about to reopen, or what's your opinion based on what you see down there?
So, like I said, it's supposed to start, I think, on March 10th, that the masks are not mandated anymore, but I think all the retailers, all schools, everybody is still going to require masks.
Oh, okay. So students still. Okay, that's a good side. Yeah, we still have all of our masks right here, right now. Marcelina, look, a big drop off here. I know that you're a long-term holder as well as a day trader. Are there any names that you're looking to pick up, put some cash to work soon? I know you were on IPO E or D or F or something the last time that you were on. Is there anything you're looking at right now? I'm trying to pick up a few new SPACs or old SPACs like BFT and STIC that I like right now. Is there any names that maybe I can call up on a chart here and help analyze with you?
So right now I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen, because it's just keep dropping and I'm not sure what I want to do. This week I only did I think Rocket and Palantir was holding between like $24, $23, $25. So that was the only good trade I could find.
Yeah, same Z's here. Just an update there. Yeah, and I've just been going long Palantir, so that's been a disaster. We just got out of Square there, breaking back down below that at 203. So we want to make sure we capture some profit in a big stock for me there, Square. But I guess we got to go back. I mean, wow, this market just continues, guys. We are bouncing off that bottom now. So Square out. I think that was a decent one. If the market rebounds again, man, we could take this Square out again and try one more time through 205.50. I'm going to put an order to get there if we can grab that, Neil. 205.50 on Square.
Yeah, exactly. And Marissa, thank you for coming through. I'm just going to note one thing, because I know these markets are not very calm today, but let's have a look at that. We talked about following the NASDAQ a little bit, and I want to get your opinion on what you're looking for when you trade here in a second. But the only reason I'm in Boeing and DraftKings right now and trying to find things to bottom pick is we broke through that 12.35, but you're holding this. Yesterday's low on the NASDAQ, I called it overnight, but it's technically in the afternoon, post-market lows here at 12.3 on the NASDAQ. And when it comes to entering positions, you do long-term trading. I know you do, Marcelina. I know you're backing off today. Do you ever look at these support and resistance levels in the overall futures and incorporate that into your short-term trading, like whether it's swing or in this case day trading? Is that something you're looking at?
So when I trade with you guys, like when I watch Trader TV, I follow the NASDAQ, but usually I have pulled up always with my chart SPY to just see what's going on and just following the SPY trend.
And it's interesting because I'm with you. I usually do. I have both up, but I usually will reference the SPY during, the ES during the show. The SPY, of course, just being the S&P 500. But lately, because of what's happening with treasuries, it has been the NASDAQ that's been moving the markets a little bit, and that's the only reason we lean towards those. I do have to jump back in, if I can, for a second here. What's a bit of a change, because it's been very strong in the energy plays, guys. I just noticed here that Occidental is trying to break downside through what was support all morning long through like this 3150 area. So you have a lot of names which are coming down, even that were previously strong. So you had an inverse relationship as these tech names were going down. Energy was pushing to the upside. If we break the lows, it's possible a lot of names are going to be heading downside. And I can't think of many that aren't at least testing some of those bottoms. Just a quick question for you here, because I know you've been following us and trading a lot. how active? So you talked about today not being doing any day trades. How active do you anticipate being maybe in the afternoon? Like if we do bounce off these lows, are you looking at making any trades on any stocks that you like if things calm down a little bit today? Like where you at in terms of what you're following to maybe make some actionable plays, if any?
No, so today, like, I'm not sure if this is over. It may be following till Monday. It can be still going down. So I just sold some calls on my shares. That way I could collect some extra money just by selling calls, because when everything is going down, you can make easy money on that. But other than that, I'm just waiting. I don't want to take any risk.
Yeah, I mean, you can also sell calls on boring stocks like Pfizer and then make money that way because it never moves. I have to jump back in if I can because there are some movements happening. I do have that, I almost said Donkey Kong. I still have that DraftKings position. I was able to get some out here at 57, in front of that 57.50 for 50-cent winner. Now it's looking like it's going to press to the downside here. If it breaks 57.60, which it just did, what I want to do here is lighten the load a little bit, and then also Boeing just broke the bottom, and we're tracking towards the low on the future. So that 12.3 is coming into play, and you know what? I almost don't want to be fighting this market at all. So you can see me actually take this off before we get to the low day in DraftKings. If we take out 12.3 in the NASDAQ, I'm covering DraftKings. I don't care what the price is. Brendo?
I was just looking at space here, guys, moving back to the downside as well. This thing got absolutely crushed today. $25 corresponds with this kind of congestion here. On the daily chart, Marcelina, it's been just a mess for SPACs all week long. A lot of money coming out of SPACs. I know you had some interest in a few of them. Sean was mentioning those. What's your thoughts? What's your take on some of these SPACs, the plethora, if you will, of SPACs that we've had over the past month or so?
So, like within last year, there was a SPAC trend, then that trend went away. Then it came back again. So let's hope that that's going to be a case again, that as soon as the things will pick up again, we will be able to go back to SPACs. The only one I did, it was the SPAC before, the GHIV this week. And I was thinking that with Rocket, that UWMC is going to have the same trend, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of stuck in that one.
There's so many of them. It's confusing after a while, but yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how and if we get back on the positive side of things with SPAC mania, guys.
Yeah, SPAC mania is right, and spank mania today I think is a good word to be using right now. As I'm just going to get some more here. Hopefully, I'm on the right chart. Yeah, there it is, the right screen. Palantir, again, like I keep saying the same name. People asking, are we still bullish, or am I still bullish on this name? No, not really. We have broken below. I'll continue to buy shares. I mean, my price is 16 and change. We were long at the 9 level. I was buying some 24s, some 23s, 25s even, but actually not that many times. I think 25 and 23, nothing in the 24 range. We are going to average in a little bit here to this long using this bottom. Just got to make sure I do have a stop order in case it does go back down. Oh yeah, my stop order to buy through 26. That's not going to happen. But okay, NEO, another name that's just come back down. Looking to buy some low here again right now on NEO, 34.40s maybe. You know, if this breaks, I think we can retest back down here, kind of where we got this golden long. Glad we emptied out most of them on the upside. Like I said, I wasn't going to hold for a home run today when the market's doing this. We had some key levels early that broke, and now you sort of got to stay away. I wish I was more like you there today, Marcelina, and hands off some of this. But the biggest trade for me off the open, and I can't believe it's still moving here to the downside, of course, was this Carnival, 21.02. And the rhetoric made sense to me. I thought there was going to be money going into some of these names today. The tech names, obviously wrong, but I'm glad I'm right that this fell down. Carnival Cruise Lines. Are you a cruise kind of person there, Marcelina? Because I don't think I'm going to be going on any cruise where I'm locked up with a bunch of people for any time soon.
No, I don't think so. And I traded CCL, I think, last year, but then it got to the price point that I feel like it's way overpriced.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about a lot of these names right now. Wow, Neil, I cannot believe. Let's check in on Penn here for a minute, because that DraftKings, like, Oh man, I'm glad Penn, okay, breaks 100 as well. Yeah, like 113, like see ya down here, $99 looking to break the bottom in Penn. You're seeing the bottom also being put in there on DraftKings. That's what I want to talk about. I cannot believe that just 3 days ago, this name was $74. Like, that is a monster haircut, guys. That's not like, this is not minor stuff. Like, these names are getting woodshedded there. That's not the day chart again. Got to go back over to that. Like, this is Penn, big time move down. DraftKings, down to that 50-period moving average. If you're not in DraftKings now, like Marcel has been saying, we don't know where the bottom's going to be. Could it be Monday? Could it be Tuesday? Could it be a week from today? Could it be a month from? We don't know. But I mean, to pick up some of these names, if you're not in them, I just think that that's been just such a major move down. And I don't know like what the economy really has anything to do with DraftKings. I mean, the more people are unemployed, we know that's not the case. We got a good job number today. Obviously, it's going to be some price targets lowered on some of these yields and some of the expectation here for interest rates. But wow, DraftKings getting hammered. I love gambling, and I don't think that anybody else, obviously this is my job, I don't think other people will be selling this stock as much as they were. And DraftKings right here just looks like a great pickup. $54, guys. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, don't take me covering my DraftKings bottom pick play as not an endorsement of the stock, but I had to come over to Tesla. It's making the first attempt there, and actually I got it in front of that 565 that I talked about. I gave it like an extra $1 worth of room, but here's the issue. I waited for the price level today, which I'm very, very pleased about, but we just broke 12.3 on the NASDAQ, and I'm not holding Tesla through my support level and through the bottom break on the NASDAQ. Now, if we snap back upside and can hold this 1230 break, it is Tesla that I'm going to jump back into that I think for a long style play, but for me, to be up on a day like today, you got to be happy with it. So not chasing anything in this particular moment. Marcelino, you had a fantastic sort of approach in terms of, hey, sell a few calls, make a bit of coin, step back from the active day trading, do what works for you here. I knew I wanted to take a shot at Tesla at least one time, but unfortunately, what can I hit? We'll hit the poo-poo. There it is. That's me, like trying to box a piece of poo. You're never going to win doing that every now and then. But I want to come to some other names which are, I mean, it's showing some signs of life. Like you're going to see, like I said, the break of 12.3, NASDAQ breaking that low, Tesla breaking that low, Snowflake of all stocks holding up. So it's not actually at its low of the day. I'm not even calling it relative strength, but it kind of is. If it can actually manage to hold this like 223, 225 area here and we get that bounce back up, keep in mind that it never broke those lows while the rest of the market was flushing, and it's already down that 10%. So follow that one away for those type of afternoon plays. If you're going to be active in the afternoon, you should have key trades that you're looking for. Make sure you're not going against the grain too far here. And thank goodness I got it at Tesla, now testing 560 to the bottom. I can't believe some of these prices, Sean.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about here. And I think you got to get out your shopping list and start buying at some point, guys. I mean, I know this market just continues to get hammered, and I have Rocket up here. Like, it took off on me there. It went from, this is at 1017 just not too long ago, went upside there. We were able to take a little bit out. We held through all this bottom again. I'm thinking about taking another long here, but I mean, look at the NASDAQ, man. It's just like, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Let's check out a daily chart on this one too for the NQs, just to give you guys some sort of, an idea. I mean, I know if you're a trader, you already know what's up. Like, big move down here to NASDAQ, man, all the way back. And this is what I mean when you have to sort of stay grounded and try to stay real with some of this. Like, we're only back to where December was, right? And I know that, again, a lot of people blaming, the current government and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I don't know whose fault this is, other than the fact that the market was super heated up and now we're just back down to these levels. Like, you want to talk about, getting a little nervous here. I mean, what about this area breaking, 11,800? If that breaks, then yeah, I mean, I don't know how much cash anybody will have on the sidelines at that point, but these levels need to be bought up, I would think. And that only brings us back to late November on these plays. So just be very, very careful here. The market could crack even further as we're looking to go lower and lower on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, and sort of going back to some names that are going to be, we talk about XPeng because they're going to be reporting, but just going back to some names I know you guys are going to be watching. Forming a bit of, well, trying to get to a double bottom here would be NIO. It's worth noting it did wick down to like a 33, 34 as the low of the day, but really most of this volume did stall out here at this particular price, 33.85, where we're at right now. Now, we're slowing down this, we're trying to slow down here below that 12.3, and I'm talking about the NASDAQ, but the momentum is still screaming to this to the downside. And unless it's like something ridiculously obvious on the bounce, I want us back above 12.3 before I would actually think about jumping into any long trades. You're going to see, I still have that waiter, which somehow was the easiest short of all time. Thanks, Brendan. And then, of course, I will still play some of these market-making stocks that aren't moving. Glue, of course, being bought by EA Sports. But if we're not back above that 12.3, I don't want to be jumping into bottom picks. I did sort of briefly mention on Tesla another level to the downside here, and I want to sort of come back to it because we're screaming through. And again, if you hold, you get absolutely burned. I do want to come back to like this 540, which I didn't think there was any chance we'd get to that today. At this particular point, it seems almost inevitable that we'll see 540 on Tesla. And it's not even hard support. It was just one little dip a couple of times here on the way back up. That's not even strong support. The real strong support is actually down around 500, and I don't think that's going to be happening today. But you always want to make sure you're prepared for absolutely anything, even if it seems unlikely. So if Tesla comes to that 540, we'll be looking to possibly defend that price. But really, it's just about that rotation. You've seen the NASDAQ fall to the downside. If you're watching what's happening in treasuries, you know exactly what's been going on the last few sessions. Even Snowflake, I was saying, was holding up. It just broke that 223. It's headed towards its lows of the day. If you catch a bounce in the market, look for something which did not break the low when the NASDAQ broke its low. So that's why Snowflake is on my radar right now, Sean.
Yeah, and Palantir's on mine. It's down to $21, guys.
Really?
Like an unbelievable move to the downside here for Palantir today, down 15%. I mean, every name. We talked about a lot of these new names. Square. Wow, what is Square back down to now? Look at this low for Square, guys. 195, right where we're at. Again, like now, Jesus. Sorry about that. Do I feel lucky to get out? Down? I mean, not lucky. I mean, some of it's skill. Upside there as we just approach that VWAP and then get out there. Square just demolished now to the downside. That just keeps on falling, man. NEO falling. I mean, look at the percentages that these are down now. This is why we get out there. We tested it again there, but it falls back down and watching out that for that 333 bottom there. That is NEO. This is just getting to be destructive. Wow, look, big size on NEO. Wow, where was that? That size was following. Where is he? That size following it down there. Where? Oh man, I miss it there. Marcelina, have you ever traded with level 2 screens, or you know, which platform do you use? And what, you know, do they have a level 2? Do you just use a level 1? Wow, this is just getting ramped up, Marcelina, here to the downside. But wow, 33.50 for NEO. What is happening right now? Let me go back to that question before I lose my mind trading. Which platform do you use, if you don't mind sharing? And have you switched between platforms? Is there one you prefer? And wow, what is your favorite indicator as well? Why don't we go with those two questions?
So I'm using Thinkorswim for my day trades. That is part of TD Ameritrade.
Yep.
And also Webull on level 2. I have on Webull. So I'm switching between brokers. I also use Robinhood. I know people hate it, but I think for the beginner, for options, it's really good.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. We don't have the ability to have Robinhood over here in Canada yet. I don't know if they're coming. We have Wealthsimple. I don't think they have options. Wow. Okay. And then what about an indicator? Is there anything that you're going to be looking at here, like for maybe a longer term trade? What do you like to use? Do you use moving averages, Marcelina? Do you use volume? Do you, hopefully don't follow us, do you use anything else that might be of interest to some traders?
So I use for RSI, MACD,
yep.
And also for the day trades, I use the simple moving average 9 and 50, and that's basically for the day trades.
That's it. Okay, good. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I like simple moving averages. Well, we use volume weighted average price. Check that out and add that to your repertoire if you can. I do like it. NASDAQ bouncing a little bit. So we are back into the money here on Palantir. And like I said, normally, guys, hopefully that's the Palantir screen. There it is. We did go long again, breaking through that 21 level. So we'll dump some out there. This is Palantir. It's just been so nasty. I'm actually not down that much on Palantir, thank God, because we're able to just, like when we take the longs, we get out a little bit. But some of these breaks have been bad. The market down that 1.5%. Maybe Miss Kathy Wood wants to come in and buy some of this. Neil, let's check that.
Where's the PPT, man? Well, give me that plunge protection team.
I don't know if it's down enough to call the PPT yet.
Yeah, that's like back in like 2008 times. But look, I'm going to come to GameStop in just a second because I know there's a couple stocks that are moving that are to the upside. Oracle on highs of the day, by the way, around that 70 even. So that's a very strong one. GameStop holding 145, which is nuts. I did try that 150 break. 140 was good. 150 was not. If it comes back up there again, it could be one of those afternoon sort of ramp style plays. Tesla bounced off of 550, not 540, so pie in my face. Missed that potential trade there. I want this market to calm down just a little bit here, but you do have to be all over relative strength whenever you can. And then Oracle, look, it's just the upgrade today. And I don't know, and maybe there is one in chat. If any of you guys in the chat here, Marcelina, if anybody can show me a better looking chart in a large cap today than Oracle. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm sure there's something out there, but either way, this is a big time relative strong play for Oracle. It's trying to bust through 70, and in normal circumstances, this would be a level that I'm fading. It just feels a bit wrong to be thinking about shorting this for a scalp trade when it's literally the strongest stock, and I'm thinking that we have a decent shot to bounce. And we've slowed down the move to the downside since breaking that 12.3. But it doesn't seem like we're done just yet. I'm going to look for DraftKings again if we can bounce. But other than that, it's Tesla 540, DraftKings. I'll be watching the 70 level on Oracle and looking to not overtrade. And not to put you on the spot, Marcelina, but we have our Q&A coming up on Monday. So first things first, are you going to be there for our live Q&A?
Oh no, I'm embarrassed because I am not a member, but it looks like I should become a member and attend your Q&As.
I'm putting you on the spot, knowing that I'm going to maybe force your hand a little bit. And on top of it, forget about the fact that you get to talk to Sean, of course. You don't care about asking me a question or, I don't know, maybe Brendan. But Arun's going to be on. And I said this before, we've been talking about levels in the futures, and the reason I'm bringing those up is because on a lot of days, we'll be trading stocks that are moving and on our watch list. That are just in play. They're gappers, it's earnings, whatever it might be. So you're not as concerned with the overall levels in the futures and the direction of the market per se for some of your trades. But on days like today, it can matter a heck of a lot. And I think that's why it's important that we include Arun, who's our expert futures trader, to some of these discussions because we can all learn. Sean and I have known Arun for 12 years, 10 years? I don't know, at least 10 years, something along those lines. And his growth in terms of trading the futures has been tremendous. So take advantage of it. That's why we bring him in. That's why we bring Mark in every other Monday when we do these. I think it's well worthwhile. If you're not taking part in it, you definitely should be for all of our members out there. And the longer Oracle hangs out off this 70 high, it broke once and went to 70.07. The more I'm going to like that potential breakout trade through the top there because the market's trying to level off here. And Oracle, very, very strong here, Sean.
Yeah, it's unbelievable at Oracle. How was you and your family there, Marcelina, on those blackouts? I mean, I don't know if Houston was hit, but I guess all of Texas was. What was that like? I know you have kids and everything, so did you guys made out okay on that, or how did that go in your neighborhood?
So I don't think many people had power or water. We were probably a few days without electricity and water. The funny part was that even our phones didn't work because the towers didn't pick up. So we were like cut off from the world for a few days. It was challenging.
Oh my God, even cell phones weren't working?
No, cell phone wasn't working because the towers are connected to electricity. So it wasn't working either. Like you could text and call, but that's not important if you want to trade or check your account.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Oh, so you could text, I guess, you were saying.
You could text and call, but the internet wasn't working. The 5G wasn't working, so I couldn't log in or make any trades for that time.
Yeah, you don't actually realize, how lucky we are to have just the basic things like power. to operate your daily lives there. So yeah, good look there. Okay, XOM. Yeah, thanks for answering that. I want to see because we have a few friends also there that down in the Lone Star State there. Okay, so XOM does make a move back. I think if we're trying to survive something, this may be a decent spot. Look, crude's still up today, 3% up to 65.70 right now. XOM hanging out downside, but we're still up 1.3. We are near the low of the day there. So if the market maybe rebounds a little bit, maybe we get some XOM love there. But yeah, for right now, I'm just holding, well, Rocket breaks through 23. I was going to say, we're waiting for Rocket to break through 24. It does that, so now we don't have to worry. Rocket does break through 24. So yeah, wow, I guess there's no more juice into that name, guys. But that breaks down. We're holding a little piece there, but we've lost a little bit of money trying to chase some of these longs again, but still really happy with the battle back today. AMD, wow, down that 4%. Look, I did buy. There we go. I did buy some of these shares yesterday at close. Like I was saying, 77, 78, but down that $3 again today. Maybe AMD goes. There may not be a point to chase anything today like I've been doing in the afternoon. It's just down, down, down as we continue to go. Only 4 minutes left in the show, but this is a bloodbath today.
Yeah, it's one of those, like we said, one of the things we said early was be patient. If you're talking about building long positions, like on days like today, yeah, what, 10, 15% of what you want to be in a long because it feels like there's more room to run to the downside. And look, we try to keep things as honest as we can around here. It's literally like 10, 15% of that Nikola trade that I had to the short side that I wasn't willing to give back to break even, which was my original stop. And every now and then I'll move my stop out of, I don't even know what the word is. It's probably like complacency because the trend was clear. And it's just because at that particular time, I know exactly what I was doing when this bounced off of those lows. It was like maybe half an hour or so just before you came on, Marcelina. I was looking at some bottom picks that I really liked off the lows bouncing. And I'm thinking to myself, why, if I'm looking for directional bounces, why am I holding on to my short trade? And you know that kind of messed up because if you really think about it, picking a bottom is a perilous thing to do. You hang on to your short all the way back to break even, and that way you're almost hedged. And in that case, I'd still have that Nikola trade. So when DraftKings doesn't work and Boeing doesn't work, and I give back some of my day here, I make it back by holding on to Nikola, which is now down at 14, which is heading towards that bottom, which Brendan said to you guys could happen today. 1350, the all-time low here on Nikola, and I could have been still short this one. So you know, you hang on to your shorts. You definitely think about where you might want to go shopping for some names here. But there's also nothing wrong with having that patience, guys, and hang on to your winners. Even if it hits your target, sometimes just let it roll when you have this kind of momentum with you. And I'm sitting here and all I have is waiter to the short side. The stock gets barely even moving.
Wow, this is just like, I mean, look at this hot list here. This is NASDAQ. Let's just take, I know it's small, but look at this. Tesla, 12%, SNDL, 18%, Plug, 16%. There's your open door, not your open door, Brendan, but we were talking about this. Open door down 30 freaking percent. FCell down 21%. BNGO down 18%. Apple down 2%, which is big for that. American Airlines, nice call there, Buzz, ETF. American Airlines down 10%. I mean, what? Mara, Riot, PayPal down 7%. JD down. Crowd, everything down. Let's check out some NASDAQ names or some NYSE names today. Maybe you can hide in NYSE names, right? No, you cannot. CCIV down 15%. Space, the final frontier, my ass, down 24%. SOS down. Palantir getting killed. You like that one, Pratt? Hey, we got to do something on the show. CCIV, Boeing down to the level that I'm in at. What's going on? Delta Airlines, AMC down. Pinterest down. Give me, like, you already talked about Oracle, so we don't need to give me a name that's up. But wow, everything just getting pummeled today. Like, these are just a hot list brought to you by eSignal, but wow, big time movements to the downside. Oh yeah, and there's XOM chilling at the top side, but everything just getting destroyed today, guys.
There's absolutely no doubt about it, but we can lighten the mood there. Certainly, actually just covered my waiter in front of 3. It got to yesterday's close, so it wasn't all that bad after all. But there's one more thing we do before we get out of here. And my daughter, when she sees this, is going to say, no, those are wibbly wobbly sticks. But Miss V, what national day is it?
Thank you, Neil. And hey, Marcelina, so happy to see you join us again. I really love your sweater and wish you all the luck with your tradings. Chat was really happy to see you also. And we really hope that you will join us one day again. Guys, I know it was kind of a red day for everyone, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed your day, you learned something new. Let's stay positive and hope for better trading days. And we'll see you on Monday. Have a beautiful weekend, rest well, and happy National Cheese Doodle Day, everyone.
Those are cheesies.
Yeah, those are cheesies. Yeah, we call them cheesies. I don't know. What do you call those, Marcelina?
I don't know, Cheetos?
Cheetos, okay, we'll take that. Cheetos are a little the harder ones, I think, right? The Cheetos, but good call.
Brand name, right?
Marcelina, do you have a sweet tooth, or do you stay away from snacks like that, or are you more of a chocolate person, fruit person, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, I like everything.
That works for me. So do I. So thank you, Marcelina. And by the way, like I know you mentioned before on your Twitter, your new sister Valeria. But hey, guys, let's do like a side-by-side, if you can, of Marcelina and Valeria. I am wondering, like the pips, if you guys can do that side-by-side. It may take a minute to do, but I really think you guys might be undercover sisters here, because I know you look very much alike. There's been some talk about sister wives with me, you, and my wife, but you guys actually look like real sisters there, Marcelina and Valeria. Let's see. Look at that. Really? I mean, same hair, same everything. What do you guys
Same
think?
accent.
Same accent. I don't know about the same accent, but anyways, there you go. Thank you for the production team there. You guys, looking fantastic, and thank you for all the support, Marcelina, and thank you for coming on. I know it was short notice there, but we did, happy to have you on. Are there any earnings today?
It literally like look, it's XPeng. You guys know, so that's the only thing that we'll be watching for coming on Monday. But let's be real, it's the move that you're seeing in some of these more volatile high flyer names that we're going to care about on Monday, whether it extends through, whether we catch a bottom. You know what we got to do before we get out of here? Thank you so much, Marcelina, for joining. It's a blast to have you on. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to go punch myself in the face for missing that 540 bottom on Tesla a couple of minutes or so ago. But for the entire team, Miss V, your sister Marcelina, from her man Sean Cantina on in the nice sweater. I should have brought mine in today. Maybe we'll do that next week. For Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.